Oh, snap, we're back. And I didn't bring in Dustin like I thought I was going to.
No, you didn't. Too late.
But yeah. Snap, we're back. Well, we're going to disconnect that.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
No, you didn't.
There's all that feedback from you. You're all. Someone's got feedback. Oh, yeah. Hi, guys.
No, you didn't.
There's all that feedback from you. You're all. Someone's got feedback.
Yeah, see that. Crap.
What is that? Can you guys hear us? Can you see us? We got major lag.
Hold on.
Yeah, we got some lag going on, guys. Sorry about that.
Are we all right? Hold on.
Because we had some major difficulties with trying to hook up some of the other guys, some of the guests. The technology isn't jiving in some cases. Yeah, I hear the feedback. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. Is it still happening? Now it is.
Hold on.
Might have to bounce Andy out of his own show.
We still have it?
Yep. Every time you talk.
All right, that's a bummer.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
This has never happened before.
Yeah. Microphone feedback. What did you do to your mic? I'll even check my mic.
Somebody else maybe, dude. Somebody's watching YouTube. Turn everybody's volume down.
Is it going now? No?
Nope. Somebody has their YouTube.
You have all the guests in your room waiting.
Yes.
Do you have the guests waiting in live stream? If you do, get them all out of live stream right now.
Yeah, if you guys can all hop out of the chat and use that link to come back in.
Just bring in your next one, Andy. I would recommend bringing just the next person and do it that way.
Cloverdales can hang out. Everybody else jump out.
Yeah, because there's still feedback.
How about now?
Yep, thank you, Magnets. They are mine too. They were all Doug.
You hang out here. I'm going to jump out for a second.
Okay. And then I'll ask if there's still feedback.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll get it there, guys. We'll get it there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's coming from Andy's end. He was trying to match up with these guys, and they were all into their settings, and things got reset. Say something, Andy. You're not helping.
Hello?
You're still not going bad.
Hold on.
We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. One way or the other. It's tough when you're trying to match up so many different guests, and not everyone has the same technology, and it just doesn't jive sometimes. Say something, Andy.
Yeah, I'm going to jump out.
Okay. I just want to see if you're still echoing.
All right, how about now?
Keep talking.
Hello, check 1 2, check 1 2.
No, you're good. What do you guys think? We're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. Holy crap.
I don't think it was you, maybe, unless you just did something different. I think it was one of the guys that came on. Because as soon as the one guy came on, you were lagging real bad.
Right.
So, all right, here we are. Go ahead, Andy.
All right, man.
Andy,
So everybody, sorry about the beginning there. I mean,
I found the lost boy.
we're learning every week here. Last week we were not here due to the Super Bowl, but Dustin and I are back, and we're better than ever. We got a little refresh action in there. But yeah, sorry about the little bit of delay there. Looks like we're good to go now. Dustin, last week, or not last week, but the week before. I mean, the show. I mean, everything. Anything you want to say about it?
Oh man, I would just say that. Well, number one, when the show was over, I was exhausted. I was ready for bed. There was so much information. There were so many things to talk about. So many great speakers. It was just, I thought it was incredible. And I think most of the guys with their events are pretty close to being full at this point. I haven't seen any I'm sold out yet, but it's I know they're close. I know they're close. And I know the Florida one just was going on, and we saw some great pictures coming from some of the participants. So, I thought it was a great show. I hope everyone else thought it was a good show as well.
Yeah, a lot of people I saw, they reached out to me and they asked about some of the events, and they actually signed up there after the show. So I feel like some of the people definitely, got something from the show and a little bit of information to help them, want to, join some of that stuff. So
yeah, it was it was fun. I think you would agree it was absolutely fun. But when it was over, it was like, everyone else was covering pretty much one show at a time, one event at a time. We took on 5 events.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, those guys were great.
It gets to be a little crazy when you have multiple people on. I mean, that's why we were having a little bit of issues there, but yeah. So
who we got in here? We got Ed Woods. Yeah, Ed Woods. I'm sure you heard lots of comments on that name.
Yeah, he got that pass. He won the free ticket to Digstock. It was a $450 value on the last show. He was lucky he got it.
Ed, are you going?
I think he said he was going to go.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. That is, Ambient Girl's here. Nancy's here to support us. Yeah. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Detect Digging Smile.
Torgalise is in here. Mainly dirt fishing. 2 Taverns Todd. What's up, Todd? Let's just say hi to some of these guys here quick, and then we'll get moving.
Alan. Bam! You know who that's going to. Bam! I gave you 2, Orlando. What up?
Chris from the Ground Up's in here.
I'm an idiot. Bob's here. Bobby. What color's your hair today, Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby, there you
go. Bobby, your hair's going to fall out. You keep putting that crap in it. You know that, right?
So, let's see here. Anything else you want to say? I mean, before we get started, obviously tonight's topic is bottle digging. Yeah. We know everybody's, they might not be a bottle digger. I know Dustin knows a lot more about this topic than I do. He does a little bit of bottle digging as well, as far as he also metal detects. If you guys have not checked out Dustin's channel, he is my co-host. We do our separate things. I'm going to put a link there at the bottom.
Let's get the subs up there, guys. I need some subs.
Right.
I'm hurt.
Check him out. The link's at the bottom.
Thank you.
Give him some love, guys.
Give me some love. This is a different. We knew when we set out to do this one that this episode would just be like more of a niche crowd and more of a crowd that may be wanting to get more involved in it. I know with all these digging events coming up, there are opportunities to go ahead and dig some pits, and trash pits and privies and stuff like that. So it's good. The information coming out tonight, you're pretty much going to be dealing with the best of Northeast bottle diggers, is what I would say. Like an all-star lineup. I can only think of 2 guys that's missing, and I'll give them their props, and that's Nate Long and Kerry Land. If I don't know you or forgot you, it's not a slight at all. But from what I know of digging over the last half a decade, these guys are the all-star lineup, barring the two that I mentioned.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a hell of a group in here tonight. A lot of these guys have tons of experience. I personally don't know much about bottles at all. So from my point of view in here, I'm looking to get a lot of information to learn about bottles, all kinds of questions we have for these guys. But yeah, anything else you want to say before we bring in our first guest? Or
Just that I'm excited, and while we're interviewing, with these guys, it's not going to be like the normal, questions that you guys are used to. If you guys have questions that you want us to ask, pop them in the comments, and I'll be scanning it to look, because I don't know if I'll ask everything that would come to mind for you guys. So just put that in a comment, and we'll pass that on to them as we're talking, because it'll probably be too hard for them to talk and look at the feed at the same time.
right.
So no, other than that, I'm ready to rock. I'm excited. Like I've not dug with any of these guys yet, but I do intend to. Just because something Andy touched on that he could touch on more at the time. He's right that he feels right mentioning it, and that's the camaraderie. Most of these guys know each other. They all, they're good friends. So
right. Heck yeah. Awesome. And a little birdie told me there might be some bottle giveaways tonight, so stick around for that. Dustin actually has behind him on his screen is actually all the bottles that he found. So these are all his actual bottles, which is pretty
that's
cool.
not all of them. That's some of them. I restored it our family general store, and we had a bunch of shelves, and so I have about 15 shelves filled with bottles. I don't have enough space on here to keep doing the backgrounds like Andy, but those were all dug.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty proud of the collection I have, and we have a pretty extensive one.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
man. Thanks, man.
Well, I think we'll bring on our first guest. Like we have a total of 5 guests tonight. Like Dustin said, all really good guys with a lot of knowledge. So I'm hoping to pick up a lot from this show myself. Let's bring in our first group of guys. It's going to be the Cloverdale Diggers.
Yeah, boy.
Let's bring them in and introduce everybody.
There they are.
How's it going?
What's going on?
Good.
So nice to meet you guys. I guess we're going to ask you a few questions. Let's start out by where you guys are from.
We're based out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So that's where we're based out of.
Cool.
And who is who? I know who Dad is, but maybe Dad should sound off, say his first name.
I'm Dad.
Your dad.
Yeah.
All right, and then who's Josh?
One in the middle.
And then Seth. And it seems like in the videos I see Josh doing a lot of the narrating between him and Dad.
And I'm doing the work. Yeah, that's true. Seth does all the work. So.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I've been watching your videos. I really enjoy them. I really do. Your knowledge on the bottles is fantastic.
Well, I've been doing this about 11.
You guys, your volume is not translating, I don't think.
A little low. Crank that baby up.
Crank her up, man.
Crank the volume up.
Might be a little bit late.
Yeah, you guys are having some issues. You're lagging in the volume. Are
you hearing feedback from us? We need to turn on.
We have to be closer.
Oh, well,
maybe if you guys move closer.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, I think we can muscle through it.
Yeah.
How's it going for you guys in the crowd? Everyone watching? Are we still having issues? I'm looking.
I'm seeing good, so we'll keep rolling with it.
All right. Okay.
So go for it, Dustin. Ask him some stuff you want to ask him, and like I said,
one of the things you guys are digging primarily privies, right? Or are you hitting bottle dumps?
It's about 50-50 between dumps and privies. right now with winter, we haven't been doing many privies.
Right.
50-50.
How far down is the ground frozen right now?
What would,
Yeah, yesterday we were out about
Yeah, we lost you guys. You guys, we totally lost you.
The center, I hear the center there where he's at. It's weird.
Yeah,
you can hear Josh?
yeah,
Yeah.
we can't hear you.
yeah, can you hear me now?
I hear him great.
I can hear you when you talk, but you're loud.
Oh,
You're,
it's
I know
quiet.
I know your volume's a higher volume like mine, so you're coming through. Dad's not.
I do the talking then. Yeah, he was saying we have about a foot of frost still. We went out yesterday, probed out what we thought was a privy, ended up being a trash pit along the side of a old stable foundation.
Okay.
About a foot or so of frost.
Okay. So you could. How are you getting through that permafrost? What tools are you using to get through that?
Mainly pickaxe, but once you get down past it, you can just pry up the top of it then for the most part.
Nice.
What
in dumps we undercut it, but for privies or little trash pits, we got to pickaxe it out for now.
Now you're in Carlisle, and that's got some serious age to that area. I've done metal detecting there, and I've also dug at that dump by the golf course, if you're familiar with that one.
Okay.
And what are some of the things you guys are finding out there?
Well, we don't have the big ash dumps like Badgerville or New York Digger Steve. We have a lot more hillside farm dumps that you're going to end up just finding one or two good things here or there. And it's all about just, these dumps are small. They last only a few digs, so you got to keep on finding them. So.
I think Andy's trying to pop up a picture.
Yeah, this is just a quick collage I kind of whipped up with some pictures with you guys. But yeah, I mean, there's some pictures there of the bottles that you guys dig up. I mean, it looks like that middle picture at the bottom there. I mean, that was a massive haul, it looks like. I mean, can you tell us
Yeah,
about
that was one of our trips actually up to New York Digger Steve's dump up in New York. We did pretty good there. We've been there 3 times now in the past year and a half. Only when a giant group of guys go up, we tag along.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I tell you what, one of these times I'm going to actually go up there too, and we'll all have a good time.
It's a pretty big dump. Steve probably would touch up on that later on, but yeah, it's a good dump for sure.
Now, you have done stuff out there in the Carlisle area, right?
Yes, we try to focus mainly on digging local to us, but we also do enjoy going out, with fellow diggers around the areas and just having a good time with them.
What are you using? Because I know we have some new people that people that want to learn how to dig dumps and how to locate them. And could you just give us a couple tidbits on there it is. How do you find your bottle dumps to begin with? Like when you're finding your own, like I found that one at the golf course because I was metal detecting. And then once I found it, every time I went, I just dig down a couple feet. I never dug it out, but which that might be something fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, we can get together and do that one.
Yeah, you know where I'm talking about, right? Right across from the old frog company and all that.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Yep. So, just how are you finding what the things you're like? How are you finding dumps? How are you finding privies?
Well, finding dumps and finding privies are, two different two different things. I touch up on the dumps force. You gotta talk to a lot of people, walk the rivers and down along banks near towns. I mean, it's not that easy. There's not a sign that says dig here. You gotta
Right.
find it. So
And you guys are because I mean that's how I find stuff. That's how we in my videos I have one on a series on canal digs. And we basically found an old house that was it was a canal house, and we found the trash pit. So we've been digging there for a couple years now, just finding all kinds of great stuff just in the banks.
Yeah.
So but we found that basically we were fishing and we found the shards. We found shards all over, pottery and glass and all over, just laying out. And that's what led me to that. Now you guys are using a probe too, right?
Probes come in mainly for privies then.
Okay.
To get a privy, you gotta get permission from the homeowner for the backyard.
Okay.
And then once you get the permission, you just make a grid and you probe the yard, and it's all about how you gotta feel it. It's a lot of feeling the ground around you and knowing how the probe reacts. Really.
Yeah, because I mean I know you can actually hear the glass if you're paying attention and twisting it and pulling it at different times. So I mean, yeah, you're right on the money, man. What's the best thing you guys found so far?
I mean, there's a handful of things that I can bring up. My first, let's go back 2 years ago, and I did dig. It's the what would you call that? A motion bottle, the witch on the broomstick. Ammonia bottle from New Jersey. It's about yay big. It says clean clothes works like magic. It's got a witch on a broomstick flying through the night. And as far as we know, it's one of 3 or one of 4.
All embossed, right?
Yeah.
Wow, because you started saying ammonia bottle, and I'm like, where's this going with an ammonia bottle? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no.
Awesome, yeah.
The company was like in business for a few years, and it made its way to the neighboring town, Newville, and we dug a privy, and it came out. So
yeah, you guys are surrounded with history for sure. What's something that you got that you never got rid of? Because I know we all sell a lot of stuff we find. What's the one thing you haven't sold?
About everything. We really don't sell much that we dig. Yeah.
It's funny. All the rest of the guys that we're going to interview now, they pretty much all do sell, a lot of what they find. So I'm like you. I'm like, Pat. There's a guy I used to always say, passion before profit.
Yep.
And I always agreed. That's the only thing I agreed with, whatever he say. But I always agreed with that. And like as you can see behind me, there's very little that I dug that I got rid of. Usually I'll buy bottles off the guys I dig with, and I'll turn around and sell them.
Yeah.
But if I'm in some dang hole all day, getting dirty, getting wet, you'd be damn sure, and I'm taking that home and keeping it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know the last bottle I sold that I dug.
Good for you guys. Good for you. Now, is your dad the one that got you guys started?
Yeah, he's the one who got us started. I've been doing it since I've been 7 or so. So 11, 12 years I've been doing this.
Wow.
So he got us started doing it.
How's that feel working, doing all this with your dad and your brother?
It's pretty nice. They support, everyone supports each other. He does mostly marbles, so it's a good counterbalance. I get the bottles, he gets the marbles.
Yeah, I saw him with his hand of marbles in the video, man. I'm like, what? I love marbles. So I was a little jealous, brother, when I saw that big handful of marbles there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was from yesterday along that foundation we dug up here in Carlisle. So
Awesome.
I had that happen one time, but they were all cat eyes, so you knew they were like probably 60s, 70s, or 80s. But it had to have been a whole bag, and it was there for a long time. And I found it metal detecting because I saw one. And then once I found one, you start messing around with your hand and hitting stuff, and they just started popping out.
yeah.
So name another good thing you guys got.
Well, the most recent good thing that we found was a amber pine tree up at Badger's Dump. That's there on the top right. That's a pretty good find there. That was the most recent, where I would say be a pretty decent find.
That little what's that? A Parker rye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Parker rye that came from Badger's Dump. We do a lot more digging with Badger during the winter time up there, and we always have a blast with them.
Oh, what does anyone else have any questions that they'd like to ask before I keep stammering on? I got questions.
Yeah, we got.
I just want to make sure I'm asking the questions that the people want to hear.
Here's a good question.
Is there a state that has the best bottles?
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Pennsylvania, really.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania does have some good bottles. We got Philadelphia. That really helped.
Oh yeah, you're talking old.
But there's some really good beer sodas from Philly and from all of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Right.
There's another question. It says, do you, when you're doing a privy, do you probe with a rod? We did kind of mention that a little earlier, but yeah, that's where you're going to use the rod for, is looking for the privies more than you are dumps. And the reason is dumps usually go a lot deeper. Am I correct, guys? And I mean, I know privies can go deep, but they have the gap of just, I guess, not air, but just debris. You guys tell me.
Yeah, I was reading the comments along the side and totally missed what you said. How deep were the privies? They're around 8 to 12 around here mainly.
Okay. So then the bottle dumps, the dumps go down 30, 40 feet in some cases, right?
Not really around here, because a lot of ours are, just paved over or.
Well, I see Edward Wood says he got some good ones out his way. Well, Ed, give me a call, man. I'm ready. And then someone said, Ram Detecting said, I would love to go creek walking. And that really is where you find a lot of your stuff. Maybe not, the older the creek and if there's old houses there,
right,
guarantee there's a dump. How about it, guys? Because that debris went somewhere. If it's in 1900s or older home, I would think that debris goes somewhere close. Is that what you're finding, that these like little dumps are like right by the houses?
A lot of the time they'd be along the back side of the house, along the any dips in the ground, they filled in right away with it. And a back hill right by a creek made a great spot for them to throw.
And then where would they usually put the outhouses and privies? Would they put them anywhere specific when you look at a house?
Around this area, we noticed not too far back in the yard because we had the Indians around here, and they were afraid if they travel too far back, they might, they might get killed. Those are the older privies. We notice also they're never towards the alley. Privies aren't towards the alley; they're on the opposite side of the alley, which helps.
Oh
wow. Property lines, they stick them right on the property lines a lot. Double them up if it's two houses side by side. So just things we, after a while, noticed, and we go to property lines. Usually, force is where we would probe. Never towards the alley unless if we can't find it, and not too far back.
So, what's the deepest you guys have gone?
What was that one? Really only 12. These aren't deep out here.
Now, which one of you guys, or do you all actually like tunnel in at different times? Do you guys all?
We about all, we'll go down and dig some. Depending on how big the hole is or small, sometimes, the old man can't really get in it as well anymore. So,
he's looking at you bad, man. He's looking. I can feel the heat of his eyes. I feel you, brother, man. I just can't get in and out of them holes like I used to.
Yeah.
So what advice do you guys have for anyone that wants to get into digging privies or dumps? What would you?
It takes a lot of time. You got to do your research, and a lot of time. It's not like you can go right out and start digging 1850s pond.
Yeah.
You got to walk it. You got to talk to people, and you got to be friendly and treat people right. That's how your name spreads, and that's how you get permissions.
And see, I like that, guys. I really do. Digging at different times, like at dumps that everyone has access to, and everyone's trying to sneak so no one can see, that I'm going in because they're scared that someone's going to come in and dig behind them. And, I like what you guys do because you're out there getting the permission. It's there for you. And you sounds like you're building relationships with the people that you're digging on their property. And that's great.
That's what you try to do. You do one neighbor, the neighbor talks to, it goes down the whole line, and before you know it, you can dig the whole block. It's about treating people right.
Yeah, well, I hope everyone tunes in to watch these guys. Their videos are awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Cloverdale, it's Cloverdale Boys, right?
Cloverdale Diggers.
Cloverdale Diggers.
Yep.
Cloverdale Diggers. You guys got to check them out. I subbed weeks ago because I like basically from watching you guys and knowing David is how I rounded everything up because I do enjoy, I'm a sucker for a family. So when I see a father and his two sons out there grinding away and having a great time and learning and sharing, I appreciate what you guys do. I do.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, you guys are all right with me, and I hope that we blow your subscriptions out of the world. Because the thing is we get a lot of people that come back and watch this after it airs, because of the time frame. So I hope you guys, we can help you guys out because you guys are pretty darn good. There's someone right now saying been subbed.
So somebody saying that just subbed.
There we go. So not that you guys came on to do that. And that's the thing, like, all of our guests tonight just wanted to come on to talk about what they do and share their experiences. And that's just awesome. Andy, you got anything, brother?
Do you guys want to give away a bottle or not?
Yeah, we got one we can give away.
Yeah, I mean, what do you got there? Tell us about.
This one will be a classified as a pony right here. Aqua
Ooh.
pony from Philadelphia.
Oh, nice.
You're really giving that away.
Yeah, why not?
Holy, yo, that is, yo. I thought, whoa, you guys are lucky. Get in on this because that's a good bottle. That's a good bottle.
Johnston and Co. from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1870s to 1880s about is what that one would be dated at. So,
wow, that is awesome. I think Andy's getting ready to do the. You doing the wheel, Andy, or?
Yeah, people. I told earlier to just hashtag the yard. I typed it in the chat. I didn't change the saying. Just hashtag, and then the yard. A lot of people pretty much already typed it, but I just typed it again. Let me see how many people typed it. I think we're good.
You're lagging pretty bad, Ann.
Here we go.
Yard. Oh.
Let's share the screen once. How are we looking now?
Yeah, everyone's hashtagging the yard.
We sounding all right still, bud?
Yeah, you sound better now.
Okay, I was moving around too much.
You guys are awesome, man. I'm glad you guys came on tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the offer. It's fun.
Yeah.
Always fun talking about bottles.
Yeah, I could talk about bottles all day. I mean, if I had my thing would rather be bottle digging, but I don't have that. Like you said, it takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
I've gone on digs and I know what it takes to start out and to find nothing and have to keep probing. And, that's the part people don't get either is you could end up digging and starting a few holes just to probe it. And that could take 4 or 5 hours. So, yeah.
Some days you probe a whole yard and not find anything.
Yep.
So,
You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do this. All right, here we go.
Here we go. 47 entries. Wow.
Whoa.
Is that it?
Did you see it?
Nicole the Pikachu. Is that a person? Are you here, Nicole Pikachu? Or that sounds like a bot almost.
Yeah, there's no bot.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if she doesn't comment.
I know.
That's funny.
I'm just saying it does. It sounds like a bot.
Yeah. If you're here, Nicole, say something to us so we know, so we can get you the information. Do-over, somebody said. Do-over.
Yeah, I think someone just said, Ram detecting, we got a troll. Yep. She was a raider. Let's do it again.
All right. Sorry about that. Let's do it one more time. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Always something.
We're going to cancel that one.
Yep, we're going to do it over, guys. Don't worry. Orlando. That's a heck of a bottle, though. I hope none of you win it. I hope I win it. Am I in this? No, I didn't hashtag, so.
I guess this had to go through. Okay, here we go. I guess it wasn't through. You did not win.
Yeah, see, that's definitely a bot.
There we go.
The Bill Perk concert. Andy, what do you got on here? Is there a Bill Perk? What is this? What do you got? Like
he was in here. A lot of people, so they do those raids. they do those raids. Like AAP will do a raid and people will come flying in here. So I don't know if he's in here.
Oh, hey, I see AAP's variety channel.
Yeah. Did somebody say, what do I do one more time? Good Lord. Do over again. People.
Yeah, I think it's a do-over.
Oh my goodness. I never had this many respins.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't get this right, I'm just going to keep that bottle.
We're going to have to keep your bottle. You have to send it to Dustin, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
He says, all right, let's try this again.
All right. Yep, we're going to do this one over. We don't have time to chase people down. Because this is a good bottle, too.
Whoa!
Nuh-uh. What's that? Our next guest won it. Yeah. Now, I'll say this. The winner better not sell it because I'll be watching their auction to see.
Right.
Congratulations, Copper Poppers.
I know he's in the background laughing, so
yeah,
we'll bring him on and we'll get his thoughts on that whole win there in a second. But anything you want to say to the Cloverdale boys here before we send them off? I know they had some plans tonight, so we don't want to hold them too long.
I think Cloverdale Diggers are by far one of the best groups of guys out there right now. And I just truly look forward to meeting you guys and hanging out and, breaking bread with you and digging. So,
yeah, thanks, Dustin. Yeah, we get you guys up here and get digging up here. You guys are not too far from us, so.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
I think this will be a good form relationship here coming up. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like the one thing I do is I like to take people metal detecting. So if you guys ever get a detecting bug in you, Dad, you might want to metal detect with me.
I've got one.
He's got one, so he's just never used it.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate what you guys do, and that you put yourselves out there for everyone to see. And, I'm proud of what you do and appreciative. So thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We appreciate you spending the time out of your night to come in.
Now, if you guys want to stay, and because I think everyone's going to be doing a bottle, maybe you guys could win the bottle too.
Yep. I think they'll stay and watch it. So.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Maybe we can get one. So, all righty.
Thank you. Thanks again, guys, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Talk to you soon, very soon.
Oh, yeah, will do. We get you up here.
I know.
All right, guys. See you.
Thank you.
You got it, man. Thanks.
What a good group of guys, man.
Yeah, awesome group right there. It's
their dad did the right thing. Their dad raised them boys right. Well mannered.
Yeah, the giveaways, man. Always something. Well, we're good.
Yeah, I can't believe James won that. Oy vey.
Well, lucky for us, he's up next, so he can give us his thoughts on that whole win.
Yeah, so the winner of that contest is our next guest.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about those guys once, since you kind of knew them.
That's James, and is Tyler with him? Is Tyler
James and Tyler? Yeah, we're gonna bring them in together.
Yeah, James and Tyler, they're the Copper Poppers, and they bottle dig and metal detect, and they're in a pretty good circle of friends that do a lot of like the, I guess, like Northeast area of Pennsylvania, and they do a lot of different stuff. And I know that, James, this is another great family. Like his dad and his mom and his fiance, they all go metal detecting and go to events. And they're just, they've been to our, up at Dirt Digging PA with us, sitting 110 away from us, and just great people. And I think the people like him, and he's pretty enthusiastic. Tyler's a great guy. I don't know if Tyler would be more charismatic per se than James, but we'll find out soon enough. But these guys are they have an auction called Drippy Lip, and I think they do it once a week. And it's basically that's the name of the auction, but it's off Copper Poppers on YouTube. And you guys got to see the bottle. Pretty much everyone after this is selling their bottles or selling bottles.
Yeah,
you got to check out that auction. They got some really killer bottles.
There's a lot of followings with that too, Dustin. Like I watched the other day, I watched one of our guest shows, and there was like almost 200 people in there. I was like, holy crap, these people are buying these bottles.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I think it's awesome that they're getting theirs now, because sooner or later someone's going to regulate that platform as well. Yeah. But that's awesome. So yeah, if you guys want to get in on some good auctions and get good bottles, the next guests coming up, they're the kind of people, they're the bottles you're buying in the showrooms and stuff. They're getting sold and resold. But these guys, you're getting a bottle right from the guy that dug it. So I would definitely look at that, and the different bottles they have and the ages, and it's crazy stuff. But yeah, and then they light them up. They light how about when they light them up, Andy? They light them up so that the uranium that's in the bottle turns greenish, and it's crazy. Yeah.
Cool. Well, what do you say we bring them in here and
bring them in?
We got the link here. We're going to leave up for a little bit, and we're going to bring in James and Tyler from the Copper Poppers. All right, here we go. We got James, and we got Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Turn your phone, brother. Turn your phone. There you go.
There's James.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, buddy?
What's happening?
One of you gets to keep the bottle? I mean, you are
so
the Copper Poppers.
That's actually funny, because there's actually four founding members of the Copper Poppers. It's Tyler and myself, I guess this side, Tyler and myself, and our buddy Mike Buck as well. And that is actually who was under the Copper Poppers username on YouTube. So Mike is actually the one that won that. Yeah. He's such a turd. So he's on paternity leave right now. He just had a new baby, little baby Owen. So he's been busy taking care of family stuff. So yeah. And then Tyler's brother Brendan also, he's recently switched to golf and become a loser. So he never hangs out with us anymore.
I don't think he has sound, by the way. I think he's laughing, but I don't hear him. So I think
Tyler, are you muted?
Say something, Tyler.
Yeah, he's all lip reading.
Yeah, you're huffing up, brother.
James is gonna have. No, we don't hear him. Oh, he must have his mute. He must have himself muted.
Oh, Tyler stinks.
Tyler. That's two arm punches.
He's gonna have to run over to your house quick, James.
It's funny. So Tyler lives about 45 minutes away from me. He's closer to Pittsburgh. He's about 15 or so minutes outside of Pittsburgh. I live in it's Beaver County, which is close to the Ohio border. And Mike actually lives out in Ohio. So I'm kind of in between both of them, and we all try and triangulate and meet and dig and stuff. So we've had a good recent last couple years, and started detecting together. I think it's been 2, maybe 3 years that we've had our channel. And then during COVID, we really didn't want to door knock or anything like that. So we figured, hey, Tyler had a buddy that he works with and told us about an old town dump. So we went there and started digging, and before you know it, we're digging pits and meeting people out. And we started Drippy Lip auctions. We actually had our 1-year anniversary just this past Friday, and we owe, I'd say 98% of our auction to the CRICK Diggers. If you guys don't know, they're another group that's coming on later. Their auctions are what inspired us, and we've got their blessing, and they really originated the YouTube live auctions, and they're like our big brothers. Their bottles are like way up here. We get some decent bottles and stuff like that, and a lot of their audience is the same as ours, and it's just a great community. It's a great community that's been really nice and helpful to us, and we're pretty green as far as it goes, as bottle digging goes. We've only been doing it for about a year and a half or so.
Now, James, let me interrupt you real quick, James. That bottle that you just won, I mean, you say you're green. Do you know anything about that bottle, or you?
Yeah. So I didn't catch what the glass maker was, but it's a Pony Squat out of Philadelphia. So that's like an 1870s, 1860s soda bottle. Really nice. That's like an awesome bottle to give away. I've never even dug a Pony Squat, so that's truly awesome. Really nice of those guys to give that away. I've dug some transition bottles. This is actually, so like they said, I like to dig local stuff. I collect Pittsburgh glass, and that's another reason we kind of got into our auctions is we dig so many bottles, and I like to go to yard sales and flea markets and look, get any type, I like to buy collections and stuff like that. I have so many bottles. I can't keep them all. I have to narrow down to like what I want to collect and stuff like that. So that's kind of also where Drippy Lips kind of came out of, and Mike, same thing with Mike and Tyler. They love that all the same stuff too. So we love sharing our history with everybody. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, like I was saying, this is go ahead.
What are you digging more of, privies or dumps?
I prefer it. I kind of go seasonally. So like during the winter and the spring, I like to dig in dumps because it's not so wet. But I kind of like to get, you can see some of the spring dump videos where I'm just like covered in mud, and throwing wet mud is not fun. It's a lot of work, but I like to dig. I like to kind of get in shape with the dumps, and then try and get into some privies, because if you get into a good privy, it can be loaded with some really great stuff. Yeah, I started to say this is a T. Murray transition bottle, so like an 1880s. It has like the style of a Hutchinson bottle, kind of like this, but it has a Pony Squat top. Yep. So there's all kinds of different variations, and some of them can be extremely rare and valuable. If you see right below where the C is in Copper Poppers, I dug. It's a 1920s pumpkin witch head candy container.
That thing's cool. That's neat.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was digging at night. It was cold. I was just trying to, shovel out my hole again, clean out my hole just to see if I could get anything before I left. And I got that, and I was like, wow. I whipped out the camera. I said, hey, check out this little clown looking thing. It's pretty sweet. Well, here I did some research on it, and it's some like extremely rare candy container. And I was looking at some of the sold prices. If it had like original contents and the painting on it, one of them went for like $3,000 or $2,500. So you just never know. You never know when an awesome bottle could just pop out. It's a lot of fun.
I see a question here. What's the most sought after bottle value wise? Like I know when I go up northeast, like we're looking for certain old Yinglings, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Great arrow codes.
Yeah, so I feel like it really depends on who your target audience is. So certain people want to collect stuff that's local to them. Just like I was saying, I'd collect a lot of Pittsburgh stuff. This is a Hutchinson bottle that I dug from Rochester, where I live. So if you can get the right collector that wants to collect, Birmingham, Alabama Coca-Cola bottles, if you find a certain bottle that they really want and need for their collection, it can raise the price up, skyrocket. Coca-Cola Hutchinson bottles like this, they go for thousands of dollars. But you can get back in age, this is a bottle that I actually dug at one of Mike's farm dumps. And it's a GW Merchant open paneled, like about 1840s. We actually had the CRICK Diggers come out and dig with us. And yeah, we got some really cool open paneled early bottles. And when you get back in age, some of the different colors and stuff, it can really skyrocket those prices. Like this is a pectoral syrup out of Pittsburgh that I dug, and they're about 1870s, and they're a decent, not common bottle, but people find them. But this is actually a like apple green variant that I've talked to a lot of Pittsburgh collectors, and no one had ever really seen one before. So just something as simple as the color of the glass can affect it so much as well. So it's just interesting doing the research and meeting the people that have done this stuff for so much longer. I mean, in our videos, we have a guy, his name's the Homeless Man. And
I watched that the other day, actually.
Yeah. So he's like my Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's teaching me the art of bottle digging and probing, and it's a joy to learn. And every time I go out, I'm just trying to get a little bit better because, it's fun. I want to find a lot of good stuff, and we do find a lot of great stuff. Tyler, I wish he would have stayed in the chat, but I guess he was having some technical difficulties, but he's dug some insane stuff. I mean, he was showing me just the other day a spot that he dug this Pittsburgh. It's a Pittsburgh Bitters bottle from the 1850s. It's iron paneled, extremely rare. I mean, I'm talking maybe 4 or 5 are known to exist. And this is an early bottle with, a big name like Pittsburgh that a lot of people collect Pittsburgh bottles. So like I said, it just makes that price go way up and that rarity. I mean, the place he showed me that he dug it was ridiculous. I would never think to ever dig there. It's interesting to see some of the spots that are left, that have been left untouched. And if you can find the right place, you can find some really cool stuff. Really cool.
Let me ask you about two. You can talk about either one, either the round, the sphere at the bottom, or the one with the eagle on the bottom. Pick one of those and tell us maybe what.
Sure.
Have me intrigued a little bit.
Sure, I'll tell you about both of them. If you go back and check out, it's called Our First Privy. It was the first privy that Mike, Tyler, and I all dug together, and it was about a 7 or 8 foot stone line pit. It started in about the turn of the century, 1920s at the top, and then as you go through the layers, it reached to about the late 1860s, 1870s. And while we were going through it, Tyler and I were digging it, and I found this. He found a complete clay pipe, and it was the only piece or anything that we had found. And I was like, oh man, that is so cool. I'm like, I hope there's 2 of them in here. And I reached in and moved some dirt and ash away, and this big ball came out, and I thought it was like a racket ball or something. Well, I cleaned it up later. I tumbled it, and it was a marble. It's actually a German-made marble from like the 1870s, German swirl, and it's massive. It's like 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches in size. And I've bought a couple other ones, and I've yet to find one that is as big as that marble. It has so many pock marks on it from like hitting stones and hitting other marbles. Whoever owned that marble had to be like the king of marbles. he definitely won a lot.
Wow.
And the other one is a historical flask, and I dug it in a pit with the Homeless Man, and it was blown in Pittsburgh, 1860s. Historical flasks are really collectible. They actually had collections that started back in the 1870s. There's catalogs that you could purchase certain historical flasks that they used for advertisements and for a lot of like electoral stuff. Politicians that were running, it was a good way to get their face out and advertise for themselves. Is that a German swirl right there? Oh yeah, that's an onion skin. That's a beauty, hand blown. Oh yeah, handmade marble right there. I got a couple like that. German onion skin. That's a beauty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, marbles are great.
When you were talking about it, it's like I gotta go dig it out real quick.
Yeah, they're beautiful and they're so sweet because you can just put them right on top of a bottle and they look great.
James,
They're awesome.
what's the date you think on that Eagle bottle there? I mean, just an idea. Do you have any idea?
I'd say that's probably 1860s, 1870s, and having that Civil War era stuff is so cool. I love that era in American history, and each privy kind of tells a story too. We dug a privy. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on film, but I dug a privy with the homeless guy, and it was behind a house, and we started to find so many face lotions and perfumes and stuff, like way more than any normal household would carry. And then we found it was actually like pieces of like a fur jacket. And then we found a lotion bottle, like a massage lotion. So like it literally told us the story. We found out that was like the town brothel. And seeing some of the stuff, we dug 25 complete mason jars from the 1890s. People use stuff pretty much until it broke. If they didn't want, they didn't.
How about Merry Widow tops?
Merry Widow tops, yeah, exactly. You never know I didn't find any in there, but I'm sure they made their way in there as well. But it's just so cool to tell the story, through someone's trash. It's literally someone's trash is your treasure. It's interesting to just. I went to school for archaeology, so I love history. I love discovering it and learning about it. So you literally get, if you want to feel like an archaeologist, that's as close as it gets. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
James, I'm going to try to bring in Tyler. Oh, go ahead. I was going to bring in Tyler to see one more time.
You're like the guy off Detectorist.
Say that one more time.
The archaeologist guy off Detectorist.
Oh, yeah. Like, seriously, I mean, I don't know why I do know, but there's a huge stigma in the archaeology world for, bottle diggers and metal detectors. We're looters, which is unfortunate because it's such an important tool that you can use to help find stuff. But Tyler, do you have any?
Can you hear him? He must have bad reception.
Now?
Yeah.
You're bad.
It's real bad.
Yeah. Sorry, Tyler.
Sorry, dude.
Tyler. Sorry, bro.
But yeah, so this year we have some really great stuff lined up. We're going to be at a couple different digs. I saw Robert was in the feed. We're going to be at the event. Come out swinging. We're going to be doing a lot of collabs this summer, hopefully too, with CRICK Diggers. Hopefully get out and meet Badger, have him out our way, whatever. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes open for that. There's a lot of cool channels that are popping up. I feel like bottle digging is really on the rise. It's another aspect of treasure hunting. I found silver. I found my biggest pieces of silver bottle digging in dumps. I found whole pocket watch backs. My buddy Joe, that's in our videos, he found an entire silver pocket watch. It was like over 100 grams of coin silver. And it was the same yard as that historical flask. The homeless guy spotted a 14 karat gold ring. I mean, you just never know what's thrown in there. It's so fun. It's so fun. A lot of work. if you do want to get into it, be ready to have a sore back, because it is literally manual labor, but it's worth it in my eyes. If you put up with the physical labor, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
I want to hear.
What do you guys do for safety?
There you go.
Is an Andy question.
Yeah. So it can be extremely dangerous, and I always suggest going with someone. Don't ever, if you're going in the ground, go with someone that can help you and spot and watch your hole, kind of, because I'm in some of our dumps. I know, like Badger's dump, it's all ash, and it's huge cave-ins that can literally kill you. So, not tunneling. You can't tunnel in when you have the overhang over top of you, because if it comes down on top of you and you can't get out, you're done. It's like an avalanche. It's really dangerous. You got to wear the right protective gear. I try to always wear long sleeves with knee pads and boots and gloves. A lot of the old timer diggers, they're crazy, man. They don't use gloves. I have to use gloves. My fingers are way too delicate. It's just a rite of passage too. Everyone gets injured doing it, so you just got to be careful and try and be as safe as possible and as smart as possible.
James, let me ask you something here quick. Real quickly, somebody actually mentioned here is the copper pooper, copper popper. It actually is, Janine. Tell us a little bit about your auctions.
So, sure. So we started our channel. It was mainly metal detecting. It was called the Copper Poppers, and we started to really get into bottle digging, and we found, we met the CRICK Diggers and stuff, and met the whole bottle digging community, and we figured, let's give it a shot. Let's try and run our own auction just once a month. We have monthly auctions, and we try and do an auction preview a couple weeks before, show some of the stuff that we're going to be auctioning. We have glass ranging from anywhere from like the 1940s all the way back to the 1840s. Lots of cool stuff, stoneware, Crocs. And then we also auction off silver. And I know people in our auction on Friday, a lot of people were interested in Crodal bells. And I found probably 30 or so Crodal bells. And we auctioned a couple Crodal bells. Some of the Civil War bullets that I found at different seated hunts that I go to and stuff like that. People wanted some of that. So we had some Civil War era items. We just try and anything that we like, we figure other people kind of like it too. And it seemed to work out for the most part. But yeah, it's crazy how far we've developed from being a detecting channel to, being bottle digging and detecting. I'd say out of the three of us, I'm most into the bottles. I got the bottle bug hard, and it's really taken over. But Tyler and Mike, they love it too. Mike is a huge collector of mason jars, fruit jars. He's got some crazy fruit jars and stuff, and they're beautiful. When you have, the different colors with natural sunlight coming through the windows, it's a beautiful display. They're pieces of art. So just the fact that something so fragile like glass can last throughout that many years, it's an amazing thing. So each bottle is unique in that way that, it's not like they're out getting reproduced in that manner. We have so much stuff in our culture is just like one use, throw away. So it's crazy to see, think about what our garbage will be like in 100 years. And if people will be digging through that or something, but it's a lot of fun, the history behind it, and finding out about the different glass houses that were all around. Like I said, this is a local hutch to me. I just bought a house in Rochester, and I work at Rochester School, and I literally live like right across the street from the school. And this bottle was blown, I mean, like a couple blocks down the road. And it's so cool to find that history and link it to, just your local surroundings. A lot of the coins and stuff that we find metal detecting, they're great. Everyone loves old coins and stuff, but sometimes the local history that we find, that's what's really meaningful as far as what do I want to say? Not a monetary value, it's more of a sentimental value. It's it's so much cooler. And I mean, we do sell a lot. We sell some of the stuff that we find bottle digging, but the really cool stuff that we collect, that's off limits. Like, I would never ever sell this bottle. It's way too beautiful, way too meaningful for me. It's so cool, and it will never leave my shelf. That's for sure. Yeah. So
the Drippy Lip auctions. Tell us about that. What night it is? Like, if some of the people watching here, like, direct them to your. Yeah.
Sure. So the Copper Poppers is our YouTube page. That's where we run our Drippy Lip auctions. We do them once a month. We just had our last one on Friday, so we haven't released the next date for our next one. But if you follow us on YouTube, or if you follow us on Facebook, we have a Drippy Lips page on Facebook, as well as a Copper Poppers page on Facebook. I try and post as much as I can on there without being like too spammy and annoying. And I update on that. Like I said, they're monthly auctions. They're a lot of fun. Even if you don't want to buy anything, you absolutely don't have to. You can come hang out with us. We do giveaways on there. We have a good time. They're usually Friday nights starting at 7:00, and we run from 7 till about midnight. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
You guys were on all. I remember I got off on Friday, and there was bottles, and I got back on like 2 hours later, and it was coins. I'm like, you guys are still on. Like, yeah, man.
It's fun. Like I said, we only have them once a month, so when we do it, we kind of want to. Yeah, as long as there's people on, we'll keep running. We'll keep running stuff.
Where did you get your crowd for that? Are they all just from what you've created organically, or do you advertise a certain way to get all those people?
So, like I said, through the metal detecting that we've done and the channel that we built through Copper Poppers, we got a lot of people like that, as well as just interacting on the CRICK Diggers auctions. We've met so many people through there, and they've been more than helpful and stuff. And we, like I said in the beginning, we can't be any more thankful to the CRICK Diggers and their community and the hard work that they've built. We've done our own work as well, but we really owe it to those guys. They've done a great job, and just the people. They're great people. Just like the detecting community. It's a lot of fun. They're helpful, nice, and you have some bad eggs, unfortunately, but that's kind of with everything. So, but yeah, we have like I said, monthly auctions. I think we do have an Instagram, Copper Poppers Instagram. I think we do have a Drippy Lips one as well. But yeah, we mainly post on Facebook and on YouTube. But yeah, keep an eye out for the previews, the auction previews. They're pretty sweet. They tell a lot about what's going to be coming up, and if you see something that you really want to go after, kind of gives you a chance to see what's coming up.
Awesome.
I was impressed with what you were getting for some of those bottles, and I say that I don't mean it from like the bottles were bad.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that it was a YouTube venue, right? And I'm just like, wow, you're getting like retail, like you're doing well on the value of getting that value. And
yeah,
a lot of that is, I would assume, because I know I buy bottles off people that sell me good bottles with very little defects. And so you must be doing something right, because I see some of these people, the way they're bidding, they have a lot of confidence and they seem very happy with what they're getting, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, these bottles of, they've made their way through hundreds of years, and who knows what they've been through. They get their dings and stuff, and like I said, so the homeless man, he tells me, when you're digging, you get what you get, but when you're buying, you get what you want. So
right.
If you really want it enough and you want to add it to your collection, you put the price up, and that's what you get it. And I mean, people definitely get some deals on there as well. I'll show you some of the marbles we were doing.
Yeah, I was so close to
bidding. So this is kind of similar to the one that was in the picture. It's a large ribbon core marble, and I got these for a great price. The guy was he was cleaning out one of his friends' antique stores, and he had them, and I bought a lot of them, and not a lot, 6 or so, and I started them at what I got them for, and so this is $60, $70, $80 marble all day, potentially even hundreds, and people were getting them for $20, $30, and so you could go on and get deals just like we do. I mean, that's part of it. That's a big part of what I like to promote in Drippy Lips. I get them for, a deal, and I'm not trying to price gouge on anyone or, shoot out crazy numbers that, I usually start the bidding off of what I got it at, and, see where it goes from there. So
yeah, you're bidding.
Have I ever found any sulfide? No, I haven't found any sulfide marbles. So sulfide marbles, they were a piece, like a figurine, that were set into big marbles like this, and they're really cool, really collectible. I've seen ones with lions. I've seen ones with, I've seen them with with lambs, frogs, penguins. I mean, any type of things. There was the homeless guy. He was telling me he dug one, and it was a baboon playing a trumpet, and it was some extremely rare marble. Yeah, like what? So crazy. You have to ask the other guys some of the weirdest stuff that they've dug. I've dug a lot of set of dentures, which is pretty wild. I like to think some old dude got sick and had to go to the bathroom or privy and throw up, and his teeth fell in or something. But I mean, who knows how that stuff got there? You wonder. That pipe that was found, that Tyler found in our first privy, was the kid. Did the kid steal his dad's penny pipe and run to the bathroom and was smoking it and got caught and ditched it and threw it in? It's interesting to try and come up with those stories.
Well, James, you got a bottle you want to give away? We got to get.
Yeah, I have a couple. So they're not going to be anywhere near a pony. I apologize on that part, but I have a couple more common bottles that are found. These are the type of bottles that they were sold nationwide. Every corner of the country got these. This is a Fletcher's Castoria. So it's basically like castor oil. Yep. They had tons of stomach issues and took medicine to help with digestive problems. So this is a Castoria. You can find these in pretty much any dump. And then this is a Milk of Magnesia. I'm pretty sure this is another
is that type a 1906 date on the front?
Yeah, it's a 1906 patent. Yeah.
James,
so early machine made. What's that?
Just give away your blue one. I like the blue ones. The blue one's plenty.
Well, I'm gonna do them as a combo. I'm just gonna
Okay.
do both of them. Yep.
Combo.
So, like I said, they're beautiful window sitters. Dustin, I can see you have a couple in your display too. They're both early machine made, so probably 1910 to 1920s, 1930s ish. You can do it just like you did before, and then whoever is the winner, just send me your contact information. You can email drippylipauctions@gmail or message us on Facebook. However,
I'll get the info, and I'll get it to you.
Cool.
I'll put my link, guys, at the top or the bottom of the screen, scrolling to the bottom, actually. But so yeah, let's do this. Actually, let's put that up there now. On the bottom there, the email to send it to.
James,
right,
you going to DDPA?
What's that?
Dirt digging, James?
I'm still undecided. I might. There's a good chance I could. There's a concert that I've been dying to go to, but I most likely will be there. My dad will be there for sure.
Yeah, he drinks beer. I'll hang out with him.
Yeah.
That's okay. Then don't come then. Is your girlfriend coming?
No, she will not be there.
Oh, it's all ruined.
That's the other thing. So I met my girlfriend, Rebecca, within a month. She was in a 7-foot privy. She's actually in our first privy video as well. And I knew at that moment, this girl, she's a keeper. She's a good one.
She's awesome. She's awesome. She's a nice girl.
All right, guys, let's do this here. I got to pull up. It still says he's the winner here once, but I'm going to draw again. Here we go. Ready, guys?
Hi. That group. Bunch of shenanigans with those guys.
We're lucky. What can I say?
Yeah, you guys are great.
Hey.
2 Taverns Todd.
2 Taverns Todd.
Nice, man. Congratulations.
Wait, he just said bye to somebody. I don't know if he was leaving or someone else was leaving.
He's in here. He just said the yard.
There he is.
I'll toss in some silver and marbles for you too.
Yeah, he's a metal detectorist, James. He actually helped me out a lot about the old Deus when I purchased it real cheap. He's a real good dude. He got me a book and stuff. He's a real nice guy. So
yeah, I'll send you some merch too, buddy.
Heck yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having us on, and I really hope this helps the develop the hobby of bottle digging. There's a lot of history out there. Just got to be respectful of people's land. Just like detecting, you always have to get permission and be safe, and you can find some really cool stuff.
Well, you are a great young man. I'm proud to have you as a friend, and your mom and dad are awesome, and I look forward to seeing you guys at some point.
Heck yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man.
I was happy.
Good family. Good family.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you coming on, and I guess we'll see you come out swinging probably there, it sounds like.
Cool. Sounds good, fellas. Thank you very much.
I insist.
All right.
Hey, tell your buddy Tyler that sorry we had some audio issues. I wish you had him in too, but
yeah, no worries.
So
yeah,
all right,
we
man.
love you, Tyler. You're a good guy, man. See you, James.
All right, guys. See you later.
Thanks, guy. See you. Phew. He was a talker. But that was good. He had a lot of valuable information.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to really I imagine the other guys will be a lot the same way too. We won't have to ask as many questions. They'll be telling us.
Saves my throat.
Yeah. Were you lagging a little bit on that? Did you have any interference on that?
When he was in, you mean, or?
Yeah, when it was James.
No, I didn't have any lagging.
I did. It was going bonkers on my volume, but oh well.
No.
We gutted through it. You see Aces in the stream.
Ace.
Yeah. He's in there hoping to win something. We'll have to send him a box of empty cans.
I'm glad I should bring that up too. But yeah. Do you want me to tell that story quick?
Yeah, tell that story. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
So guys, this is a little bit here. I'm not going to go too much into depth, but I bought an Equinox 800 from a guy for a real good deal. It was $650 shipped. Okay, it was not Amazon. It was a Facebook purchase, and it all went well. He sent me the item. I got it, and then a week or two later, he said he had another one that his daughter took the headphones out of the box, and he was selling it, and they got wet in the bathtub or whatever. So I already dealt with this guy. It was all legit. And I bought another Equinox 800 for $450 only because the headphones didn't work. I mean, it was like a crazy deal. And I was like, okay. So I ended up buying this Equinox through PayPal. And somehow he literally sent me sparkling waters. Yes, sparkling waters. So I came home up the driveway and I see this box. It's like a foot high by a foot wide. And there's no detector shaft that I know from an Equinox it's going to fit in that. And I pretty much got burned from $450. I'm trying to fight it right now. I know where the guy lives. I was actually going to do a post to kind of put him out there in case anybody else gets burned because it was just no good. But yeah, if anybody's concerned about that, I can let you know who it is. But it was a bad rap. But yeah, anyway, back to the bottle digging. I'm glad Todd got that bottle. That's cool. Todd's a good guy. And but yeah. So I guess we should bring in our next guest here. We're going to bring in Steve. I see him in the background. I apologize. The CRICK Diggers I see back there, they're waiting. They're twiddling their thumbs. It takes a while to get through all these guys. So I apologize. Yeah, he's back here going like this. But what you got there? Little see-through bottle.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I'm going to give away then.
I don't know where Badger's at. Badger. I don't see him in the background, so we'll have to figure out. You guys have to get Badger lined up.
The other guys will let him know, I'm sure.
Yeah. But we're going to bring in Steve. Now we're getting into these really heavy hitter guys that really, I mean, it's like I'm watching their videos. I'm like, damn, they were just out yesterday. I mean, they're out there digging, man. They're making moves here. So,
they are no joke.
No joke diggers coming in here. So not like any of the other guys weren't good. I mean, they're all awesome guys. I mean, you got to check everybody out. So, but let's bring in Steve and get his side of the story and let's just bring him in.
Bring him in. What's up, guys? Digger.
What's up, guys?
Good meeting you.
Good meeting you too, Dustin.
Yeah, man. I see you're sitting in front of your display.
Yeah, that's a little bit. The rest is all boxed up in the attic and, stuff everywhere a little bit. But, yeah, a little bit back there.
Man, we talked to the Cloverdale Diggers. We talked to the Copper Poppers. And now I feel like we're getting into the heart and soul of the bottle digging community. We're getting into like some key guys, you and the CRICK Diggers and Badger, and I'm really interested to hear about some of what you do. If it's privies, if it's dumps, explain some of what you do and what you'd like to talk about on that.
Yeah, I'm mostly probably 75% is digging dumps. And the rest is privies when we can get them here and there. I dig with a bunch of different guys, Dave a lot, Travis and Corey, CRICK Diggers, Buddy Mike and Paul. So there's a big group of guys that do this. And but mainly the dumps just because they're accessible all the time. Yeah. If we can get privies all the time, we'd be digging a lot of privies because digging a privy, you kind of know, you're hoping to know what should be in there. So if you're digging a privy and the house is 1860, you're hoping, there could be iron panel, there could be panel bottles, or at least in those maybe colored soda areas or ponies. So you have an idea of what could be in there, or maybe nothing, like James said, and then Cloverdale. And but dumps, you can go whenever you want, and you can just keep digging, keep going. And that's where, I cut my teeth was the dumps,
How often do you go?
The winter, I tell you, this winter, I just had my first grandson. So
congratulations.
Thanks. So and it got real cold real quick, and I didn't keep a hole open. That's a big part of it. If you're in a dump and you can keep that hole going, even if it freezes, you're still going to get into it.
Right,
And
right.
I let them go, both, 2 or 3
Okay.
of my spots, and they just froze over. So it's getting warmer up here in New York, and like I said, I was just down with Dave with Badger for the last 2 weekends, and we did well. We had a lot of fun, and he's going to come up next weekend. So I should be able to break ground again.
Where at New York are you?
I'm Westchester County, so it's southern New York, right off the Hudson River.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
How far is that from Rochester?
That's far.
Oh, is it? Okay, it's still
Rochester's up there. Binghamton is like 3.5 hours. So I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down. Literally, I'm probably an hour out of Manhattan, not even.
Okay.
So like White Plains area, it's called Tarrytown, Elmsford, all those. That's the area of Westchester. That's southern New York.
My mom, she lives in Rochester on an old farm, and I know nothing's ever been done to any outhouses or privies there.
Wow.
So at some point, I want to go up there. It's going to be tough because I know her and my stepdad don't want me digging around like deep like that. But
right,
if we could find something really good, it could be worth it. So.
Yeah, Rochester has some great bottles that come out of there. One of the nicest bottles that's, common, I guess, to everybody. I've only dug probably, honestly, maybe 3 or 4 of them, but the Warner Safe Cure, but it's such a pretty bottle,
Yep.
Those come out of Rochester, the Binningers. Well, Binningers is out of the city, but you got a bunch coming out of Rochester.
Yeah, I want to so bad, and I know I'm going to hook up with you guys at some point in the next month or two. And I also have, and I think I was talking to Travis. I have an outhouse that needs dug before they develop the land. And my guess would be, because it's 1800s home, is the outhouse that I found is the last outhouse.
Right.
So, and there's a lot of area off of that other ones could have been.
Sure. Yeah.
It's probed.
Yeah. It all depends. We have one in town that still has an outhouse in the backyard. It's like they don't use it. They don't have a permit for it, but it's still there. But that's the same thing. There's probably 3 or 4 that are in that area near it, so that's good.
I'm going to see who I can get out of all these guys to come over, because I really want to get that dug before the corporations, destroy the land, which they're going to in the next year or two.
Yeah, hey, let us know. It'll be a big party, man. We have a good time.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, it would. So, what are some of the best finds you've made so far?
Well, my best find was one of my best finds was my first dig, if you could believe it. I was digging around. It was a turn of a century dump that I happened to find on a hillside, and I could see shards of glass. I could see parts of stoneware, stuff like that. And I dug this. Let me just make sure. Yeah.
Ooh.
Can you see that? All right. Or
I'm gonna blow you up here once.
Okay. So.
Oh, is that German?
Now that's from New York City. It
looks German.
Calligraphy writing, I guess, or if you want to call it that. That's a poison bottle, and from what I researched, they were in business for, I believe, 2 years in the Astor Hotel in New York City. And the Astor Hotel back in the late 1800s, turn of the century, was like the big hotel in the country.
Right.
And, so it was a little high-end drugstore they had in there. And so I dug this and found out that right now, this size, there's only a couple of them known in the different sizes, but this size is the only one known right now. So, so I was offered a decent amount of money for that. That's a good one.
I could tell you this, Steve. My trade is I'm an antique stealer.
Okay.
I have never, ever in my life seen a bottle like that.
Yeah.
That is neat. Like you got me salivating on a couple different levels. Like the Schmiegel in me wants to have it as my precious, and then the retail guy in me is like, oh man, that's gonna.
I know. And I love old bottles so much. It's just a passion now, and probably my pricier one, and I don't have it because I sold it, but everybody knows an insulator. Well, I dug a telegraph insulator a little while back, end of last year, and we kind of looked it up. Me and a couple guys looked it up, and it auctioned off for pretty good money, like 8 years ago. Bottom line, I got $6,000 for it for an insulator. Yeah, it was like less than a dozen known in the country. So
was it one of the like glass green ones?
It was just a small, kind of like this aqua. It's just a kind of different version. When I dug it out, it didn't look like a regular insulator, so I knew something was different. And I was like, man, that looks different. We just literally threw it to the side, with the bottles, just threw it to the side. And then, then we did some research and we were like, whoa, this thing could be pretty good. So that's, and you know what? I'm not a big insulator guy, so it wasn't that hard to let go. Like the poison bottle or other bottles that I've dug that are good, it's tough to let them go sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are some of your favorite bottles, like when you're out digging and you're like, because you retail your bottles, right? You sell some bottles.
I do. And I don't remember. I think it was James, because I was watching some of James, and I kind of do the same thing. A lot of the good bottles or the ones that mean something, I keep because I love it. But I dig a lot, and I dig so many bottles that I just can't keep. My wife would kill me if I had them all over. So I do sell the ones that I feel that aren't, or I have doubles or not that special to me. I do sell. And a lot of times Facebook, stuff like that, they'll just contact me, you selling that or this? And usually I'll get a private message and sell it like that. That's probably the easiest way.
What are some of your most sellable bottles? Like, for instance, I like collecting meds for me. But my wife and we collect milk bottles and cream top bottles.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So milk bottles are big. There's a lot of people out there that love milk bottles. And I collect a lot of Westchester County. That's my heart, like this. I put some bottles together just to show real quick. This is a Tarrytown bottle. It's a blob. So it's
nice.
Farm dump I dig, and farm dump I've dug bottles from like 1870 to 1890s, and these are usually in amber. So I've got 2 of these, and they're like a yellow, but it's just a regular
bubbles, man. Wow.
Yeah, just a regular blob top.
You see those big bubbles on the front. I like that.
Yeah. I dug this out of there too. You don't see too many of these in the U.S.
I already drew the marble. I knew it. Yep. That's a beautiful cod.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's out of Yonkers, New York, and that's somewhat close to me. And I dug that out of the farm dump. Dave actually, he'll come on. He dug one of these. He was pretty excited to dig one.
Is that a marble in there? Give me
the. Yeah. So when they have like a little glass stopper in here that would stop the marble, or if it turned over, it would go right to the end and stop.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I never dug one.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And these are kind of some heavy hitters from me because they're local. These came out of my farm dump, and these are whiskey flasks. Ooh, this one I dug and has a crack in it, but these were given away by merchants in the town that had a lot of money, say. Wow. And almost like a quilted whiskey flask from the 1800s. And it's got a ground lip. So even though it has a screw top, let's just show you that. That's a ground lip. So it was ground off. So that's when it's that late 1800s, 1880s, 1890s. And then a buddy of mine was digging there, and actually a couple buddies. And when I dig with them, if I'm up in their area, up in probably just a little north of me in New York, if I dig their towns, I usually just give them the bottles because it means something to them. So he was right next to me digging, and he dug this one, which is the same name, same woman.
Oh my goodness.
Same merch. Yeah.
That's cool.
And they're just a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year flask that are given to, say, customers they like or that spend enough money in their store back in the 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like, because that's the applied label, right?
Yeah, it's like a label under glass or something.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, there's glass on top of it, or
okay.
Yeah.
Now I see behind you, you have some Crocs too.
Yeah.
And you've gotten that many intact. That's awesome.
I've dug probably 12 different jugs and a couple Crocs, but these my buddy dug this little one, but these I purchased because they're local to me.
Okay.
And those I had to purchase. They're local to me. Actually, a buddy dug this one. It's local, and he actually gave it to me. Good guy. So I tumbled down bottles for him. But like this is almost an ovoid jug. It probably 1860s, I think we figured out at 1870s, something like that. So that one is pretty local up in Poughkeepsie. This one is a pretty good one. I got to put on my glasses. W&D Weston. It's out of Ellenville, New York. And this one was only made with those letters like 1848, 1849. So it was only a 2-year production on this. This is a pretty good one. Yeah, and then a lot of regular, other ones, brown jugs, but yeah.
Steve, I gotta jump in here and ask you something. I've just been meaning to ask you. A lot of these guys that are watching the chat, they might be bottle diggers. And I specifically asked you one question, and that was about cleaning your bottle finds.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about either your contraption or maybe some tips or tricks for other guys. And you don't have to give away all your secrets if you don't want to. But I know it's sometimes a real task when you find a bottle. It can be really daunting to clean it really well. So go into that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a pain. Some of them, like some, I just, these right here, I haven't even cleaned it. This is out of a privy, and with Dave and another guy, Rick. If you can see these aren't even cleaned, but you get like a haze inside them, and they're tough to clean. You rinse them in. I put some copper in with some of the bartender keeper or barkeeper's friend, I think it's called.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Put some copper and I shake them, a lot just to get all the crap out of them. And but they always haze up, stuff like that. So I ended up buying a bottle tumbler from the jar doctor, which a lot of people do who have tumblers. They go to the jar doctor. I think has the best stuff. I'm definitely no pro at it, but I've kind of gotten the hang of at least cleaning them pretty good. And so there's a powder that comes with it. It's called you get like a 1200 cutter, and this contraption, this tumbler is just a long assembly with rollers, and then you have like acrylic canisters, and then they come with rubber stopples that you literally put the bottle in. The stopper holds the bottle and then puts the other one on the other end of it. I have like 4 of those tumblers, 4 of those containers. So it takes a lot of time. It's not easy. It's dirty, to be honest with you. Once you're cutting a bottle, sometimes you're cutting that haze out of it with the cutter. And some people will do that for 5 days, just cutting it, and then 5 days of polishing. And polish, when I tell you polishing, it's just powder. It's a polished powder. Then you dump in. So if you're to cut it, you get the bottle all set up. You got to put the copper in the bottle halfway up. You put the cutter powder in, right? And put it all together. Copper out on the outside, same thing, cutter, and you tumble it. And that can go. Sometimes I'll tumble a bottle if it's pretty decent, 2 or 3 days, and I'll take it. And then I'll do the same thing. Now I got to clean the copper, rinse it all out, put it in a strainer, do all that, put it back in and polish it for another 2 or 3 days. Sometimes it might take more, but I don't want to overdo it because sometimes it can dull the embossing if you leave it in too long, if it's not a strong glass. So I like to keep the bottle looking the age, but clean, you know. But some bottles look really good when they're tumbled, you know. They look nice. So, but it's a job. It's a job. It really is. You have to have space for it. You have to have. I'm no pro. I know guys that are phenomenal. I know one guy that just has a whole setup like a little garage with all kinds of stuff, and he's really good at it.
What are your, like, are you finding what age group are you finding on a regular basis at your dump? Like, I'm assuming you're already past certain layers and you're down the layer that you want to be at. What is that layer you're looking for?
All right. Well, if it's my farm dump can go from literally 2 feet to 5. That's it. So it's in the woods. It's a farm dump. It's great. Nice and easy, you know.
Right.
But when I'm in the other big dump, I call it the big dump because it is. It's just a huge dump. That's where Cloverdales come up. Travs and Corey, CRICK Diggers, Dave's come up. All of us have been up there. And that dump is so massive. And I just think they've turned it over. I don't even know how they did it. We've all tried to figure out how they dumped in there. But I can find, you know, and there's late throws. We think it's might be like 1900s. That's when it's kind of started. But we find everything from 1880s, some 1870s. We found a couple iron panels, few and far between. But you'll find this like 1840s jug, and right next to it will be like a crown top from, you know, really like a crown top. And I'll dig down, I'll be 11, 12 feet, and I'll get a nice, you know, blob top or a hutch bottle, which James showed you a little bit of. And again, a screw top is right next to it from like the 1930s. And it's no rhyme or reason. Whereas I know my farm dump, I know that time. I know when I pull something out of there, it's going to be that age. But the bigger dumps, even Dave's. Dave seems to be more the higher if you're down, say 7, 8 feet in that dump, you're going to find a couple blobs, but it's going to be kind of newer bottles. But the deeper we get in his, that's when we start finding those older bottles, okay. Colored sodas and blobs and hutches and some good stuff out of there. I mean, if you saw the video yesterday, I pulled this yesterday. Yep. Or no, maybe even Dave did. I pulled the colored soda, but we don't even. This is a blob. So this is like
ask you about that bottle.
Yeah, we have no idea if you could.
It's like satanic looking. It's crazy.
It really is. I was. I didn't even know if I wanted to pick it, man. I don't want it that bad. But yeah, nobody seems to know. I've contacted some guys that are pretty. You know, they have websites for beers. You know, blob beers and old bottles like that, and they've never seen it. So we kind of trying to figure out where that came from.
Here's a question for you. What's the best color of glass? Does it matter? I mean, what can you tell us about the glass colors?
Well, if price wise, if it's everybody loves blue, you know what I mean? Honestly, if like these, it's just a great looking bottle, you know? So blue is probably the best for looks. Then you have the yellows, like I showed you. I dug this in a privy, 1860 privy with Dave and this guy Rick. And this is a bitters, but it's like a yellow. And these usually come in amber, but it's like a yellow. So when they're an off color of what they should be, like this should be an amber, they're more desirable than most, you know. Gotcha. But I would say, you know, blue is blue. I dug these a couple, I think 2 years ago or whatever. These are demijohns. So this is just a regular aqua. So if you're looking at an aqua, like I dug this one at one dump, and then I dug these two were about 5 or 6 yards apart in another dump. But you see, one's like yellow and one's like an apple green.
Yep.
You see? So these are more desirable just from the colors, you know.
Huh.
Now the green, that green color,
Yep.
Isn't that an indicator of old bottles? Like, don't they go back pretty far to that color green?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Like in old wine bottles and old there's another kind of bottle too, but yeah, like
the onion bottles, like way back.
Yeah.
Those onions are they're like a dark green. Like I dug. This is a case gin.
Yep,
and almost looks like a black glass.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking this is the 80s, probably 1880s, but it's a beautiful big bottle. But if you put light through it, which I don't have a flashlight right now, it is green. But if you look at it close up, it's kind of black glass, but that is green. That's kind of that older glass you might be talking about.
Yeah, I've sold some bottles just like that gin.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We've dug them. I mean, I don't know how many of those I've dug, like real thick, heavy, and it's looks black, but it really is green. Yeah.
I love them. I mean, that's the only one I've dug. I've always wanted to dig a case gin. It's the only one I've dug. Some places have more of them. We just don't dig a lot of them here. Yeah,
I mean, I dug primarily in the Northeast, like up in the coal region area.
Okay,
it's like a total different dig than probably like I'll watch Adventure Archaeology. Those guys are digging more soda bottles and stuff.
Yes,
we're digging more of look behind me. A lot of the you wonder like the magnesium bottles. What the heck was going on with some of these people when you're digging through? And James had touched on like you're going back in layers of history.
Yeah,
so looking at the history of how some of these people lived in that 100%. Moment, and they'll have like 10 magnesium bottles, Andy, and you're just like wondering, man, to be crapping their brains out. I mean, that was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you'll find old clamshells, and then you'll find an old Worcestershire bottle, and then
No, it's true. You really know how people lived. I mean, we in that one big pit, we found literally, I think probably 30 of these perfumes, milk glass perfumes, and they were just loaded in there. And besides some colored sodas and different things, and but what was that telling us? I mean, we knew the family was wealthy. We knew some history about the house. So was that it because she was wealthy? She always wanted to smell good, or just they used that just to cover up? Who knows? Back then, 1860s, that was a tough time. Tough time.
You're right about the covering up. Yeah,
that's rough. And all these bitters bottles and stuff, and stuff like that. It's just they were trying. I think they were just eating some rancid stuff, and they were drinking. They were drinking anything they could to try to settle their stomachs.
Yeah, and I mean, and the one thing people don't know is if we had if we had a penny for every ketchup bottle,
oh God,
man, bottle diggers would be gazillionaires.
Is that like the pull tab in the metal detector world?
Absolutely.
Don't get me started on them, boy. Yeah. They get. If Dave would have videoed that whole day, every time I pull one out, it gets whipped like just way out of the hole. Yeah. And that says a lot. All those ketchups, they were it was covering up whatever they could. The Lee and Perrins, you find them all the time because the steak wasn't that great, right? Or chicken or whatever. It just didn't taste that good. So they were putting stuff, ketchups and the Lee and Perrins and whatever else on them to make them taste better.
And that's just the clues from the bottles, and then we get to see the bones too.
That's right.
We see the ham bones and the chicken bones.
Yeah,
really more ham bones because the chicken bones I think degrade more over time, but the ham bones always, the little whatever you call it, that always stays.
We found just massive like cow bones in some of them. In the dumps, we found what I think are horse, like a horse jaw, just a big horse jaw. One time.
Wow.
Yeah, we found some pretty. I'm still, leery when we're gonna dig a pit one day and it's gonna have like human remains in it. I'm just gonna. You never know when that can happen.
Yep. Now, what is it that you guys are are you out there just trying to save the history, or I mean, is that's what drives you?
100%. I sell on the side to get rid of some stuff, and they're double. So if I dig if I have 30 cause inks that I've dug, like my farm dump was good with inks, cause inks. They must have been writers. That says another thing about people. The writers, what were they doing? And being 45 minutes from the city, to an hour from the city, where my area is, there's some pretty big old houses, and there's some history in that Hudson Valley. So, I mean, that just, it shows you a lot. What was the other thing I wanted to, well, go ahead. I forgot what the other thing I wanted to
I know what I wanted to, okay. I was going to say.
Let me ask one more, then you got one.
Oh yeah, go for it.
What's your hairiest thing that ever happened to you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
At a dump, like it could be good, could be bad, but what was like the most? I mean, did you ever have a cave in on you, or did you come across a big snake or
weird people?
I'm good with animals, man. I don't care what they are. I'm pretty good with them. Cave-ins are the worst. You got to really be aware of them. Like when we were down at Badger's Dump, James was saying also that it is all ash, and we dig deep and we flare out those sides. But then we start shaving a little bit when we get down deep, and then we start going in just a little bit. But as we're going in, we have to look up. Where is that? Is that wall still like this? And sometimes we look up and now it's straight almost. And we're like, that's it. So we start pulling down the back sides, making it higher. And you can't take that chance. We've had multiple cave-ins, that we've seen or knew was coming. We literally are always watching. One guy's watching while the other one's doing something. Right. And you can tell when something's going to kind of happen. And we either let it happen, we back out, and like yesterday, we probably had a handful of them. So we knew they were coming. We just backed out and sat there for a minute, and boom. Or we'll make it happen. We'll see if it happen. We just get with a pitchfork and we just drop it. But you don't want to tunnel. Tunneling in a deep dump is the worst thing you can ever do.
Right.
My little farm dump. If I'm or whatever, I could get right in there. But you're in a big dump, you do not tunnel, and it's a lot of work. I mean, we dug from 8 a.m. yesterday to probably, it was getting dark, probably 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and we had like a half-hour break for lunch. Other than that, we were digging that whole time, throwing dirt, cave in, throwing dirt, picking some bottles, and also in the little cave in. It's a lot, and that's why. The bottles are worth a lot to us, not just the monetary, but it was a lot of hard work, and that was another thing. I'll come back to what you were saying about the history of it. I love pulling a bottle out and saying, like an old bottle, and saying, man, nobody's touched this thing in like 130 years,
right?
And what were they doing? Why were they drinking? It's just the history of it's cool.
Yeah, that brings me into what I was actually going to ask him. So I watched a few of Steve's videos, and I can just tell it's like, I know when it comes to metal detecting, for me, you just have that passion when you find something old. It's just you sit there and you just take it in. And the one video that he sent me some videos I was trying to pop up, but couldn't figure out how to get the clips in tonight. But the one bottle, I'm not sure what the bottle was. I think it was a blue bottle, and you could just tell his emotion as he dug the bottle. Like he was really quietly saying, "Oh my God. Oh my God." Like you can just tell, which one I'm talking about, right, Dave? Or Steve?
Yeah.
It's just like, you could tell that he was really like, man, you could just get that notion by watching his videos. You know what I mean? So
It happened yesterday. Same thing. I mean, I dug that colored soda, and we've dug a little bit of a handful of them now, and it's still. I didn't know what it was. The top didn't look like a blob. It was just deceiving for me. I just didn't know it. And as soon as I saw it, I said, Dave, I said, it's, and I couldn't even get the words out. And I just yelled up. I said, you know what it is? And he starts laughing. He goes, holy crap, it's a colored soda. So we still get that no matter how many times we do it, you know? And you also, the time I've dug, I mean, I haven't dug nearly as long as some of these other guys. And the other guys that have been doing this for a long time, which say don't have any notoriety or anything like that, these guys have kind of paved the way and showed me a lot of stuff. No doubt about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we're getting close on the time. So do you have a bottle you were going to do on?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And I think it's funny because I had it and I picked it before we started this. And I think you have one right behind your head.
Me.
Is it a Maltine you got right behind you? You know what a Maltine is?
No.
Okay. This is the Maltine Manufacturing Company. This chemist out of New York. So this bottle is out of my farm dump. It's probably late 1880s on this one. I thought I saw one right behind you on your shelf there, but whatever that
on the screen here.
On the screen.
Oh no, that's not. I know which one you're looking at, but I don't think that's it. I don't think it's a Maltese.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, yeah, this is
something else actually.
Yeah, it's a nice bottle. I mean, it's an old one. It's from the 1800s, and it's in really good shape. So
we appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, brother. Now you gotta make me look on my picture of it to see.
Yeah, and then just my Facebook is NY Digger Steve, so they can just message me if they want, whoever wins it, and give me their address, and I'll ship it out to them.
Oh, you are the man, Steve. That's exactly what it is.
Whoa.
You are the man, bro.
I didn't even have my glasses on.
And see, this is a picture of my shelf at our other place. We restored our my wife's family had a general store.
Oh, wow.
I filled it with the bottles I dug.
Oh, that's neat.
So, yeah, that's one of them. That's awesome.
That's cool, man. That's real cool.
Right. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
All right, that's not the winner. We're gonna draw again. You ready?
Yeah, everyone everyone do it? Boy, they're on it. You guys are getting spoiled tonight. I'll say that. Jeez Louise. You guys are very thank you, Steve. That's awesome.
No problem at all. I'm glad you had me on.
Hey, I can't wait to dig with you, brother. And just so you know, it'll be more of me filming and talking crap. I don't sit there, you know, if I dig a bottle that I dug, I'm like, oh, can I have it? You know, but other than that, I'm there to hang out.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Who won it?
Detect Dig Smile. He's here. He just popped up, says, I am here. Spelled here wrong, but he's here.
Congratulations, Detect Dig Smile.
Smile.
I hope you guys are having a good time tonight. I really do. I see the comments, and I haven't had a chance to say hi to some of the people, but hello, and thank you for tuning in. And
Kevin says you dig some awesome bottles there.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You are definitely someone that, you know, I'll be watching and I admire what you do. I really do. And you're a perfect gentleman, and thank you for coming on. Really. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, and hey, we all have to dig together. You gotta get Andy out there too, man. Andy's gonna have to dig together.
I can't wait to see him dig. You know, it's exhausting, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot.
For me, it's the starting of it. You know, when you find probing around, digging a couple test holes. I mean, you're lucky if there's already a hole there. But you know, I'm just saying, if there's not a hole there, you know, that beginning part. But once you find a hole and you know that you keep hitting those bottles, I could do it then. Thank you, sir.
Good. All
Steve,
right.
I'm gonna bring in Dave just so you can say hi to him. Then I'm gonna
Oh,
give
yeah.
you the boot. But at least you can come in and say hi, and maybe you guys can chat a little bit. We got one after. Well, we're gonna just bring him in here quick. That way you get to say hi.
Bring in that old man.
Bring in that old man. All right, here we go.
Oh,
There you go.
Yo,
Dave, turn your phone sideways. Can you turn it sideways?
like that?
Yeah, it'll
he's
change.
on the iPad. Nope, he's on the iPad.
Okay, then don't worry about it.
Turn it back the other way, brother.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
You're good.
Sorry.
You're good.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're fine. Everyone can see and hear you.
Yeah, thanks.
What's up, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
All right, all right.
I'm feeling a little beat up from yesterday, but that's normal.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, man. This is your time to say hi.
No, I'm just I say hi to him enough.
Yeah,
I was just watching the show here for a little while. Well, since the beginning, so my eyes are wiped out from looking at this little screen. I'm looking at an iPhone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sitting there and I have an iPad here and I have the screen in front of me. So I'm like back and forth, and the iPad, of course, it's small. So yeah, I'm with you, brother.
Just wanted to say hi to all those fans of yours. All those people out there, a lot of the detectorists and everything like that too. So, because I don't know a lot of those guys.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a nice crossover when you get on. So yeah, I think they'll dig you.
All right, cool.
Dave's one of the best in the business, man. He's a great guy, no doubt about it.
Me and Steve dig together a lot, and I have certain people that I love digging with, and that's the man right there. We've only been digging for what, about 2 years? A year?
Yeah, maybe a little over 2 years. Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
You never know in life when you meet the right people.
Yeah.
You never can say I'm not going to make any more friends, because you just never know when you will.
That's like a brother right there.
That's
right.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
I told him, he knows. I try to surround myself with good people. It's positive people, good people, and that's the way I go about my life. I have to. Too much else going on, man. I can't.
All these people that are on here tonight, the Cloverdale Diggers, the Copper Poppers. Now, I have not dug with the Copper Poppers yet, but I talk with them a lot, and I want to, and we want to get together, but there is a distance thing there.
Right.
I've dug with the CRICK Diggers. They're awesome. And
yeah.
Steve, so we all get along good.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got
Travis and Corey. I think you have next. Those
Yep.
Those guys could dig, man. They're good people.
Yep.
Well, I think we're going to get you guys out, and then Dave, you're coming back.
All right.
And then Steve, thank you so much, brother. Thank you, man.
Hey, appreciate you having me on there, guys.
Appreciate it.
So,
later, boy.
See you in a bit.
All right.
All right. Go for it. Dustin, you ask him some stuff. See what I want to know why it's called the Badger. That's the one question I had.
What I'm confused on is I thought CRICK Diggers were next. So Dave's next?
I'm here.
Yeah, he's here now.
See, I wanted to announce them and everything, man. I wanted to be like, coming in, the bottle digging champion of the world. See, because I'll give a little bit of Dave's background. And the way I found him is I was an amateur boxer back in the day. Not as good as him, but he was in the boxing. And somehow I came across, he would post these pictures of all, like when you go to these boxing matches, even amateur ones, you get a lot of big stars will come and they'll be like the guest and they'll come out in the main card and everything. He has pictures of everybody. I mean, he's got pictures with him like from the time he's a teenager until I don't know what age. And he's always with another like boxing star. And it isn't even just boxing. It's like, I don't even know how you meet all these people.
I met a ton of them through boxing. That was one of the main ways. But then what happened was I got to the point where I enjoyed it. So I just went out and I made it to the point where I became the paparazzi, and I did it I did it actually full time at one point. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I ended up
Wow.
doing that. I mean, the boxing thing came before that. You know, that was all before. But you know, and then it got to the point where it wasn't a thing that my parents really wanted me to stay in.
Right.
You know, and I didn't want to go against that. I played every sport. I mean, I was football, I was baseball, I was, all that stuff and everything. And until I ended up going, and I didn't start this whole, thing of the hobby here until later on,
Okay.
but it started off as I was sports to the end until, it started dwindling down.
Did you go pro or did you stay amateur?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
just amateur.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that like you were a champ, weren't you? Didn't you?
Yeah, it was a source. Well, that was the problem. It was good at it, but I had no blessing from, my mom.
Oh, okay.
That's where everything went, the bad way. So, then I decided to go out of that and stick with the other stuff or whatever. So, that was a mother's thing. Didn't want me.
Yeah, see, my parents didn't care if I got the shit beat out of me.
Yeah,
have fun, enjoy yourself.
What ended up happening was the time in the gym is worse than anything else.
Yeah.
So that's where, you take your abuse or whatever. And I did plenty of that. I mean, even, I did do some sneaking around and what, stuff like that too. But, and doing my, gym time and whatever. But then I just didn't go to the level. I didn't go pro. So
when did you start? Because we have a question coming in from Rebecca. How long have you been digging now?
I'm going to say now since the early 2000s. Now, I was detecting from before that. I started as a detectorist. And I was a truck driver, and I used to be all over the place. And I used to pass a sign in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, when I was a truck driver. And it used to be for a metal detecting store in Chambersburg. And that caught my eye all the time. And I said, you know what? One of these days I'm stopping there. And I stopped the one day and bought my White's XLT. That was my first detector ever. Wow. And I said, I just want to get a detector. And the guy goes, well, I'll start you at an entry level. And I said, no, I want the best thing that I can get at the time.
We all want the best.
Because I was always told that, you get what you pay for. That's pretty much, the way it is. So I went with that and I started as a detectorist and I was loving it, and I, a lot of the stuff that I have in my collection, and all that and everything is a lot of the stuff I found detecting. Okay. Then I morphed into bottle digging.
How did it happen? How'd you get hooked?
That was, I saw a newspaper article in my local newspaper about some guys that were digging bottles. And the one guy was Larry Grotz, which is a local from here in Bethlehem. And then the other guy was Rick Weiner, he was based out of Allentown at the time. He lives in Bethlehem now. But Rick, Larry owns a site called Grot Spots that people buy bottles off of on eBay and whatever and stuff. Okay. Rick Weiner runs I think it's called 19th Century Bottle Digger site. And Rick and in the early days, Larry took me to some dumps and everything, and he kind of got me involved in it. A lot of guys keep their stuff secret, but Larry's a great guy, and he didn't know me, but he brought me to places and started me. The dump that I dig now is the exact dump, the one that he took to me first. And then he took me to a couple others, like that and everything. But, and I thank him forever for that, and then Rick was another digger that had been doing privies mostly. He never really did a lot of dumps here and there, but he's a privy fanatic. He will go against dumps, talk dirt on dumps, and dumps hate him. So, he'll go to a dump and he'll find, like a ketchup or something, and I'll go out of there and find, a whole bunch of stuff, and he'll say the dumps hate me. Well, yeah, they do. So, but that was how I got started. And
now, is this your full-time gig? You dig and sell bottles, or?
No, I was a truck driver, but then once 9/11 hit, because I did a lot of New York,
okay,
New York City and all that area and stuff. And then when that happened, then I started doing the whole East Coast.
Okay.
Then I got to the point where when I had kids and everything, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be away from home, be away from the kids. So I work at a forklift place. So I work at a forklifting place. That's where I work there. Then I dig my butt off on the weekends and sometimes even during the week. Tomorrow.
Now, do you have a YouTube page or a Facebook page?
I have a Facebook page called Badgers Bottles.
Yep.
Okay, it's called Badgers Bottles. I do live digs a lot of times on the weekends, and it's kind of a forum where people can go on there, a group, and they can go on and post things and bottles they dug or this, that, and everything. And I sell bottles on there. I dig so much stuff. I would have to have 3 houses to hold everything I have. You can just ask my wife.
I've seen I've gone to Carrie Land's house, and you go into the one room and it's like boxes just filled from the floor to the ceiling, and they're everywhere, all over. And he's like, "Hey, I got to sell these to you. I need some room." Okay.
Yep, I could do that too. I had a guy that was out somewhere in the Northeast that said he would come and buy all my bulk, and I'm like, hey, whenever you want to come, you come on, I'll fill it what you got. So,
well, let me ask you this: what's some of the best things? Because we've gone through, like, I think everyone knows how to go ahead and how to find a dump, or that it takes a little effort, and you got to really kind of ask around, find someone.
Yep.
There are no, even going back on old maps and stuff, it's very rare you'll see any map that says dump. I'm not saying they don't, but it's very rare. There's more of a chance of you finding a plat map that has privies than you would finding a map that would say dumps.
Exactly. So you actually can go, like, the local library in our area, there's a section where you can go in where you can't take the books out, but you can go in there and look. And they do have stuff there about sanitation and where they did take stuff way back,
Right.
So you can find that out somewhat. But most of my stuff was all found out from word of mouth from old diggers.
Yep.
So
that's one of the things. The Cloverdale guys were telling us that, Josh and Seth, and they it makes sense, Now, when you're doing this, what are some of the things you're looking for?
Are you talking about for the bottles exactly, or?
Yeah, like, I know when some people go out, they're looking for milk bottles. Like, I know Kerry, he likes milk bottles because he knows a lot of people that want to buy milk bottles.
Right.
And like, some people want to go out and they want to find sodas.
Right.
Some are looking for beers, some are looking for meds or liquors. What are you kind of?
Well, that all kinds of depends on what you're into. Now I did notice that you guys talked about it early on too, about how different areas in the country are different with bottles. I noticed down south also. Down south, there's a lot of people interested in soda bottles from like turn of the century to about the 30s, 40s, around in there. And now people are even starting with not starting, it's been a little while, but with the painted labels and, and that and everything. Now, my thing is when I'm digging, I'm more into the older, a lot of the older stuff. And, so I'm going for the 1800s and earlier. So that way, the dump that I'm in, I have sections even in my dump where I know exactly what's in that section. Sometimes you can be up top and, you'll start hitting some turn of the century or maybe 20s, and then it starts going down as you're going down. Now, in my dump, the Cloverdale Diggers, they come here. New York Digger Steve, the CRICK Diggers have been to my dump too. The only one I didn't have there yet is Copper Poppers, but when we're digging, I mean, we've already been down 25, 30 feet, and that's in an ash dump. And it is dangerous, but we widen everything out. We have kind of like a system. And I'll tell you one thing, Steve knows it too. Steve can dig like crazy, and so can the Cloverdale kid. You look at them and, they're not the, huge guys or anything, but those guys can move dirt. I call Seth the machine, and Josh is the surgeon. So Seth throws dirt like a machine, and Josh goes in and he can pick the bottles out like a surgeon. So, we all, and the thing was, I met their father, Dave, years ago on a thing called ABN, which was antiquebottles.net. And it was a thing on YouTube, or it was on the online, and people could go on there and it was just talk bottles and this and that and everything. And that's where we originally met. And then people started meeting at the Baltimore Bottle Show.
Oh, okay.
That's the biggest show pretty much in the United States, and it's, because of COVID, it kind of got messed up a little bit or whatever like that. But it's been going on for years and years. And that's where I had met them originally. But they were little tiny kids. Now they're old enough to dig, and we're digging as a team. And it's like a machine. I mean, we can have the kids down, we're all throwing dirt, and the hole is just going down and opening up and making it look, you could probably see it from the moon, the craters that we make there.
Right.
And the teamwork. And then what we get down to when you're done and you get the bottles that you're getting out, this is one of the ones we pulled yesterday. That's a colored soda, and you can't tell, on here or whatever, but it's green, like, beautiful green. Yeah. And that's probably 1860s, 1870s, something like that.
That's the one you said you were giving me, right? Come on, man.
You get up here and dig, and you might get one.
I'll be up soon, bro. We're going to meet soon. I think talking to everyone the last couple weeks, we're all going to meet sooner or later. So
I got a question I got to ask Dave, and he kind of touched on a little bit. Is you're saying about digging to the depths? I mean, the people watching this video or the stream tonight, they don't realize how deep do you guys get down sometimes digging. I mean, I seen the holes in the pictures; they're deep. Yeah,
the ones that we're doing in an actual dump, I know a lot of people go out and they can find stuff right near the top. Yeah, I can too. I have places where I can go this deep, and I can find stuff. But if you want to get stuff, and people have found things from this age group, where they're right under the surface, but it's few and far between, So I have this dump, and I know the stuff is down there. And, if I was to dig it all by myself, it might take me a couple days to get down there, but I would never do that by myself. You're asking for, trouble. So you get a team of guys together, and these guys are the actual best around. There are older guys. I mean, there's guys that, the guy that showed me and stuff like that. Those guys are great guys too. But the team of guys that are out there now, a lot of the guys that are on this show now, they're some of the best that you will get. And everybody understands each other and how it works and everything. Now, when we go down, like I said, in there, we do a plateau thing where you go down, you're going down like this, and it goes in levels. And as you're going down, the guys are throwing up to the next guy, then to the next guy, to the next guy, so that there's always a spot for dirt to be thrown. Right. And if you don't learn that, all you're doing is you'll throw dirt to the point where you can't throw it anymore,
or you can't get out.
Or you can't get that. Yeah. So that's the way. And when we dig, you have to bring ladders. because you're going to get to the point where you can't get out.
Oh, yeah.
And when you have cave-ins, which in an ash dump you will, we're really good at watching those. And we had yesterday, Steve and I had probably three or four cave-ins that were, I mean, you're talking about tons of dirt. It takes you hours to throw out, but it takes 10 seconds for it to fill.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and some people don't want any part of re-throwing that out. You know, we will do it, you know, and it keeps you in good shape. And, you know, I'm 57 and a half now.
Wow.
So, and I'm still doing it every week, even through the winter, you know, like that and everything. And it's either in your blood or it's not, you know, and I love history. I love digging this stuff out. And, you know, I have a little thing of stuff right here, like a little thing of all kinds of different things that we're digging, you know. There's a doll head, you know. Ooh, yeah. A lot of people like that, but we find them all different kinds, all different things. And I mean, this is an old soda. This was one of the best that I pulled out. I pulled out with the Cloverdale guys. And this was one that came out of my dump at about 25 to 30 feet down.
Holy cow.
Yep. And if you can't see it here, but it's teal and it looks real like weird like this and everything. But if you look at it in the light, it's teal colored. Wow. And this one, the guy was only in, he was only in business for about a year or two. So there wasn't as many out there. And I know some of the guys that dug, even in the dump that I was in, they've never even dug them in 40 years. You know, so that was a good one that I got out with them. And we pulled out a couple colored sodas, real good ones at that depth. But when you're getting down to that depth, you got to watch what you're doing. And you can't really, you know, you have to kind of go straight down. And then there's no room to really, you can't tunnel because you can't have that much dirt above you. I mean, it's eerie. But I've done privies too. And the privies that I've done, you know, in our area, they go anywhere from like 12 to 22 feet. But we dug in, where was it? In Philadelphia, we dug a 40-foot deep one. Now that, when you're digging those kind, that was a brick liner. But when we dug that one, you know, you literally had to walk through the house because there's no entrance to the back. So the people let us come through their house, you know, with all the equipment, all dirt, you know, dirty coming back through, you know, like that and everything. But they wanted to have it done. They were interested in what was in there also. But we dug, it was 4 of us, and we dug a 40-foot deep privy. We didn't even have enough room in the backyard. It was so small to even put all the dirt. So we asked the neighbors, they let us take the fence down and we used their yard.
What'd you find?
But we found tons of bottles. It's in that story is in a magazine. I should have put the magazine article up there too. But if you're looking at the guy in the hole when you're at that depth, you can see the light on his head when he's down there, but barely. So when you're down there and you look up, it's like looking up through a dime. You know, that's what it looks like from down below. You know, and it's like I said, it can be a little scary at like depths like that, but that doesn't happen that often. I know there's places in Baltimore, West Virginia, maybe, and here that I know of. We were down about maybe 30 feet up here one time in Allentown. You know, I'm in Bethlehem, but you know, Allentown's right next door. But
man, I couldn't even imagine. When I'm in a hole and it's just 4 or 5 feet above my head, I'm done. I'm like, all right, man, I'll pull you out if you get stuck, and that's it.
You know what? I'm even claustrophobic.
Yeah,
you know, to a certain extent, but when you have that drive and the will to want to get the treasure, you know, and stuff like that, it's amazing what you will do. I mean, I have a hard time going in an MRI machine, but I'll go down 40 foot in a hole with the walls right up on you. So,
oh, the shit we do.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I don't, like I do a lot of the bottle digging too, but like I said, I did the detectors stuff, but there's a crossover point. When you're in dumps, you're finding things in dumps that you would love to find as a detectorist also. I find coins all the time. I mean, here's something too. I don't know if you can tell what that is.
Blimp.
It's a blimp.
Yeah.
And it's a coin bank.
Oh, check that out.
It's a coin bank. Now that I found in a bottle dump.
Wow.
And this thing's old.
Yeah.
This, it says on the sign on the side something Graf Zeppelin.
Wow.
That's what it says on the side, Graf Zeppelin. So that's a true, it's not a repro. And that's the cool thing about digging in dumps. The things that you're finding in these dumps are not repros. The marbles. Here's a giant, what you would call fancy Bennington.
Wow.
It's got green, it's got blue, it's got brown or yellow or something like that. A fancy Bennington. I think it's a fancy Bennington. That's what I was told. I know a little about everything, but not a lot. And here's another one. I just heard somebody talking about a sulfide. Yep. That right there is a sulfide, and it's these are extremely hard to find. And when you do find them, they usually have damage. So there is a little bit of bruising and stuff like that. But I believe that's a sheep inside. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
You found it like that? You didn't tumble it or anything to make
No, that's the way it came.
Oh, yeah, because they usually do come up pretty chewed out.
Then here's this is another good one. Ooh. That one right there was not dug by me. That one was dug by one of the guys up in the coal regions, but that came out of a privy. So the marbles are there to be found in the privies. You just got to kind of watch and look, look what you're, looking for. And here's another thing that came out of the dump, my dump. Do you know what that is?
Looks like a fatty.
that is a figural cigar, but it was a whiskey nip. There's the opening.
What? That's crazy.
When I dug that, I thought it was a root, and I almost stuck the shovel right through it. And here it ends up. It's a glass whiskey nip. But that came out of my dump, and I did not get it in the pick. And the guy that got it in the pick, he ended up trading it back to me. So, because I was the one that dug it. So,
wow.
But things like that happen. Here's a pipe that I got for another thing to show you. This was a pipe that I got in the thing, and if you look on the front, it's a lady's face. It might be hard to see.
Oh yeah, you can see it, man. That is awesome.
That is sweet.
That's the whole pipe. It used to have some red paint type on it that it was original, but it kind of flaked off a little bit. But that was a nice. That came out of the dump, and then this came out of a newer dump. But this is also a find. It's a Pez dispenser. So
awesome. What is it? Who is it though? Is it a robot?
It's the Blue Robot. I looked into it then, and I found out it's called the Blue Robot. But that's a find out of a newer dump.
Wow. So
a lot of times guys will be like, "Oh, I'm not going to that dump because it just has new stuff," and that dump doesn't have a terrible like a lot of bottles that I like, but it has nice toys. You'll find guns and toys like that, cars, like lead cars, marbles, all that kind of stuff out of newer dumps. And then, you find this kind of stuff too.
Ooh. Beer
cans, and I started off when I was a little kid collecting these, and now, if you find them, you can, but the cans are harder to find because they rust away, but you can bring them back with acid. So if you see cans in there and they're rusty or whatever like that, just because you can't see anything on them doesn't mean you can't bring them back.
Wow.
They can be brought back with acid and all that rust comes off. And this was a bottle right here that I dug out of New York Digger Steve's dump when I went up to his, you know, and this was one that I was jumping around when I found it because it's a cod bottle.
I bet.
Marble in there. It's got that marble, and this is an American cod, and they didn't take off in the United States. Cod bottles didn't. So there's not a ton of them. So they're pretty rare in the United States.
I gotta ask you about that real quick because I don't know much about the bottle. Like, what was there a certain designer that started that and they took off and other people copied them, or what was the point of that marble?
These kind of started off. I believe these started off in the UK,
in England,
and it's a big thing over there. But they tried it over here in the United States, and for some reason it didn't take off. They started going with the Hutchinson bottles, you know, which this right here is a Hutchinson, you know, and this is what took off in the United States. This is what is big over in the UK, and I actually like these bottles too, and I like the marbles in there too. You know, when you find them, I find a lot of them broken, and then you can find the marbles too. Sometimes I think a lot of the kids would try to break them to get the marbles out. You know, I'm not 100% sure, but I heard that, you know, at one time. But that's a New York bottle, and there's some from Philly, and here there's a, you know, they're around, but not that much in the United States. So, you know, but that's stuff I found. And then this one right here, that's actually on the detecting side of stuff. I did not find this detecting, but I've learned because of doing the detecting and everything to look really good, you know, when I'm in shallow dumps. And I found a little, like a glob of mud with a glimmer of gold coming out of it, like a, you know, gleam of gold. And it ended up being, there's 2 buttons on here.
Yeah,
I think they're staff officer Civil War buttons. And when I got the thing, I thought it was material, and it was rolled up in a ball. So the guy told me to get distilled water and keep pouring it on it. And once I did that, I just kept pouring the distilled water on, and it unfolded, and there's the actual uniform, and the buttons are still attached.
That's amazing.
So I put them in the case, you know, but those were dug, you know, from a little dump right at an old farmhouse.
Wow.
Awesome find.
So you never know to find it. Never know.
What's your best coin you found at a dump?
It was a 1795 half dime.
What?
That was 1795 half dime, and I found it at a not a bar. What do they call them way back in the day? A tavern in New Jersey. Right near a tavern in New Jersey. And the field that was right next to it was just an open cornfield. The tavern wasn't standing. But the buddy of mine found out that it was a tavern at one time. We went and dug the area. We were hitting Spanish silver. And I brought a buddy with me, and he got a piece of it, like a huge piece of 8. You know, you know, and so we got a lot of coins out of there. I even got jewelry out of there that looks like it came from, you know, England or whatever from way back.
Man,
you know, so
that sounds awesome. That really does. Oh,
the one thing that I'm using actually to brace the phone so that it was sitting there is a
conch shell.
A conch shell, and that came out of the dump too.
Yeah,
but that's what I've been using to.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
I've been to dumps and I've seen conch shells in dumps. What's up with that?
I don't know. I think maybe way back in the day, you know, maybe people went to the ocean or whatever like that, and then we're bringing them back. I don't know, as souvenirs maybe or whatever, but I did hear a lot of people, and just from finding stuff in the dumps, that's not the only one. I found ones like that.
It's common. Like,
yeah,
I've seen 2 or 3 in my time.
And NY Digger
Steve, in every hole, but it's common for a dump.
Yeah, NY Digger Steve, he has a bunch of them too, huge ones.
That's,
you know,
fascinating.
Yeah, even the oysters that you find in the dumps, they're way bigger. So I just think, you know, that the fact that they were in the ocean longer and people weren't really going in and, you know, getting them out and everything, and they were, you know, they aged longer or whatever. I think.
Didn't even think about that. That man, see, stuff like that you learn as a byproduct is just so fascinating.
But that's what I love about doing the digging thing too. You know, you're learning the whole time. I mean, every time you go out there, there's something else that you can find out or learn or whatever like that. And the privy wise, it's good because it's a time capsule. It's a time capsule, and as you're going down, you're seeing exactly what that family or what those people or whatever, what they were sick from, what you know, like the ketchups. You know, I think people lived on ketchup. They were probably so poor. They were probably so poor that they were just eating ketchup.
Wow.
Yeah, we were talking about the ketchups, and then followed by the magnesium bottles.
Yeah, yeah, because I was watching that. I saw that. So that's that's
what is your favorite find of all times?
Oh man, that is tough. That is tough because, you know, I have bottle finds. You know, like for me, what I've found so far, and this one's got to be one of the better ones that I found so far. But you know, that could change in the switch of a light switch, you know, because you find something, you know, every time I go out, there's something that I enjoy and I'll get happy from, you know, and but I also enjoy the guys with me. The camaraderie part is a big thing, and you know that probably from detecting and whatever too. And I always enjoyed watching your videos, and I could just tell that you have fun and enjoy doing what you're doing and that and everything. And when you take somebody to a place and they find stuff, that's what you want too.
Yeah.
I know there's guys that'll go there and they, you know, they want everything for themselves. You know, and I'm not about that. I don't really want to be with those types of people. I like people that they're having fun. They want to enjoy. Everybody's happy. Just go, you know, like that and everything. And that's the fun part of it. Like the picture you just posted there.
That's an awesome picture. Awesome.
That was me, Steve, New York Digger Steve, and both of the Crick Diggers up in New York at Steve's farm dump. And we have a blast when we all dig together. And, you know, we have that picture in color and then we have it in black and white. And I'm getting that picture enlarged and then I'm keeping that. That thing's an awesome picture.
That is. It
but
makes
then
you
I
want to be there.
I also have guys that, you know, like come on, you know, my Badgers Bottles thing. There's a guy, Tattoo Steve from California, and he actually makes artwork. And that right there, you know, that's a picture that he does. He does all these little, you know, canvas pictures. And I know the Crick Diggers have that stuff in their background of their auctions too.
That is,
you know, so that kind of stuff, you know, this whole community of people, you know, and like-minded, you know, treasure hunters. Like I said, I love the Hoover Boys. I love you know, all kinds of, you know, people. It's not just bottle digging. I love the bottle digger guys, but also the detecting people too. I know a lot of the different people from the detecting world too. And like I said, I did that for a long time. I was the president of my local, you know, detecting club for years. Wow. You know, for years I was but I was working 2 jobs, so it was tough. But
you got any other questions, Andy?
No, I don't know. Did you want to give away a bottle, Dave? You don't have to.
I actually have 2. The one is the Hutch. I just dug this yesterday, me and Steve.
Oh, wow.
So this is a Hellertown Bottling Works. It's a mug base.
Yep.
A mug base Hutch soda bottle from about anywhere from 1880s to 1900.
Nice.
So that's one of them. And then the other one is this one because I know people love blue stuff.
Ooh.
This one's a medicine. A John Wyeth medicine in
That's
cobalt
cool.
blue, and I've got the dose cap there, so it's kind of a two-piece thing there, but the dose cap goes on top, and it has like little markings on it, so it would tell you when the next dose is to be taken.
That's cool.
Has numbers and stuff with little arrows, and then you just line it up to when the next dose would be. That way they wouldn't forget when they were taking their medicine.
Wow, that's cool.
So I got 2 of them. So if you want to, whichever way you want to do it, you want to do this.
That was so cool. I put my name in for the entry.
Go get them. But like I said, I got so much stuff. I mean, it's,
once you find so much, then you do get more of that spirit of camaraderie. Because I know before I started finding stuff, I was a little more selfish, like I kind of did want to keep everything close to the vest. But then as you get it and you realize that it's always going to be there, and there's always something somewhere, and there's always something you're going to like. You're always going to find.
Yeah.
So it's easier to share.
Yeah, and my thing is, I'm not only about I dig bottles. I collect autographs. I collect sports cards. I have so many hobbies that it's like, I have plenty of stuff to do, and this will carry me. That's why I want to live to an old age.
Me too, brother.
Because I want to retire so bad, and I'm close. I'm getting there, but I just want it to happen, and just enjoy. I have hobbies, so it's not like I'm going to get bored.
Wow.
Anytime you guys want to come up and dig, or anybody wants to, come on up.
I'm coming.
I'll show you how to dig.
We're going to draw here, guys. You ready?
All right.
Here we go. That's not the winner. We're going to do it again. Here we go.
All right.
David, I'm not sure. We'll have to see if he's here.
David.
Study. Hey, I went to grab these just to tease you.
My eyes are. Oh, you dirty dog.
Ooh, hey, ooh,
yeah.
Hey, Karen. Ooh.
You're killing me.
I sell sports cards with.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I have. I mean, these are the commons I just got.
I'll be your next buyer.
Who won? Did someone win?
I don't know if he's here. Nobody said if David was here.
Are you here?
It said David Alsfetti or something.
Alfinetti something.
I'm not sure.
Italian name it looked like. Come on now. I'm pulling for the Italian guy. There he is. Woo!
Does he want this one?
Yeah, he's here. He says, I'm here.
Does he want this one, or does he want the blue one?
Which one you want, Dave? I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, it's a little delayed. David, if you're watching, I know you are. Email me. I'm going to put the email address there across the bottom of the screen.
Well, let us know which one you want now, so we can.
Yeah, email me and just say blue. Well, yeah, you're going to have to tell us now, I guess.
Yeah.
I would pick the blue one because it's cool. that don't. So see if anybody sees what it says.
They're both old. I know the blue one. The blue one's probably late 1800s to early 19s.
He said the blue one.
Okay, he wants the blue. Okay.
Good choice, my man. Good choice.
Yeah.
And then the other one is going to be the hutch,
which is a good choice, my man. A good choice.
There's no sound on my giveaway. I don't know why there's no sound.
Oh, on your drawing.
Let's go back into her once, and we'll do another one here quick. For the second one.
David, thank you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very nice of you.
Never a problem.
Above and beyond. You got you and all these guys have just been so good to us tonight. Wow.
Here we go. Make my own music.
Get out of here. Okay, there we go. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't know if they're here.
See me? Are you here?
What do you think? Do we got a Simi in here or not?
See me, Comac?
Some people lurk in the background and they're not. So if they don't respond in a little bit, we're gonna do another one.
Okay.
See me? Yeah, we don't wait, man.
We don't wait. If they're not chatting and active out here, we're rolling.
Yeah. We don't chase people down to give them free stuff.
Yeah, right. That's not what we're here for. We're here for good topics and good people. That's how we roll.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I will. We're going to get together real soon because someone's got to come down here and help me dig.
Yeah.
Privy, and then I was talking to Steve, and the privy I found has that. Remember, I called you. It has that cap on it.
Yeah.
My guess is that's the last one. So there got to be 2 or 3 other holes for older ones,
and they're usually a couple feet from the other one. We usually anywhere from 6 up to 6 feet from the other one.
You want to do another one, guys?
Let's do it. Yes, I think. Run it again.
Kevin Clapp.
Hey, Kevin. I know Kevin.
The K-Man.
He's the up north guy. There you go. He's getting the Hellertown hutch, mug base hutch.
I hope he's still here. Because he just commented not too long ago.
I know him. I've dug with him before.
Yeah, we'll give it to him. I mean, he's
then that'd be easy to get in touch with him then.
He's up near Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area up there.
Okay.
What was that bottle, Kevin, real quick? What'd you call it?
It's a Hellertown Hutchinson bottle.
Okay.
Hutch soda.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Awesome.
Wow.
All right.
Yep, there he is. You won, Kev. Someone called you back, you chump. you left us. You're lucky.
Yes, sir.
No, that's awesome, man.
Anything else you want to say, Dustin? I mean,
just that I can't wait to actually. I said it to the other guys, but like with you, it's a little bit. You and I talked.
Yep.
Same age, around the same age, a lot of the same background.
Yep.
I can't freaking wait. Like when I come up, bro, or you come down, it's going to be for like a weekend, where we have.
Yeah.
It's going to be good just to. Hell, dude, I'll bring the focus mitts out. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll have.
I still have my gloves.
I still have mine.
I still got them.
We got the focus mitts though. No, I can't take no more punches.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Matt, I appreciate you coming on, and thanks for the bottles. Like I said, you guys didn't have to give away bottles. I know some of the bottles you did mean a lot to you, so it's cool.
That's never a problem, man. I'm always getting new.
Yeah,
awesome.
Well, and then guys, remember, get to his Facebook page. So
Badger's Bottles.
Yep, Badger's Bottles, because I mean, and it is a very friendly page. I mean, I've been posting on there for over a year now, and it's very friendly, and he has some good content. Plus, if you want to buy some bottles,
they'll be on there.
Yep, he got killer bottles. So
I appreciate everybody coming out, everybody that came out to watch too. That's great. Yeah. It's fun to have somebody that actually comes out here and does this, where they're bringing in bottle guys and detectorists and whatever and stuff. Because I cross over too, so I, like seeing it all. So.
Well, we wanted to, when Andy came up with the concept, and we discussed it, it was trying to give, instead of just rambling and talking about the normal stuff, try to offer people a little bit better content each episode, something that they can learn or have fun with.
That's awesome.
And this was one of the first things we thought of, and Andy was a little skeptical. He was like, bottle digging, and I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, it's hot right now. And all week he's sending me messages as he's watching you guys' videos and stuff like that. He's like, man, you see how many people are watching that? You see how many people are there? Yeah, man, these guys.
Yeah, the Crick Diggers are coming up next. And man, I watched their live stream the other night selling bottles. They had almost like 200 people.
Yep.
I was like, holy crap,
Well,
there's a huge following for this stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna be starting my YouTube channel. I'm not a good tech guy, so I'm not good at putting all that stuff on. I mean, I wish I had a videographer because a lot of times I'm digging and I forget to do it. But I'm not good at doing the YouTube thing and all that. I'm putting my son is in a big band and he's getting music for me, and it's going to be like an intro thing into it or whatever. So I'm doing that, and then it's ready to go. But it's going to be called Digging with the Badger. So
you're going to get some subscribers here, boy.
I've been on YouTube for years, but I was on Glass from the Past 2 was the videos that we did for years, but it was my buddy Rick. It was his page, not mine. So I've been doing this since 2004, 5 or on YouTube. So,
well, we're going to get to have it in your name and yours only. And subscribing, and that's going to be awesome.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Dave, you're awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming on. This is a great show. I've learned a lot from you guys here so far tonight. I mean, even more to come from some more guys yet tonight. So, I mean, we really appreciate you coming on and working with us throughout all this.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Real slow.
Yeah.
No punch him out. See you, bro.
See you, Andy. See you, Dustin.
Peace out. Bam. Punched him.
I knew he'd be awesome. Good people. Good people.
Yeah, these guys are like really good guys. Like, I mean, we had a lot of great guests on the show, but man, these guys are top notch for sure. I mean, it's.
Do you realize we still have 36 people strong?
38.
Still,
I'm seeing 38 now.
38. Yeah, at 10, 3 hours in it. What time's that make it?
Crick Diggers in the background. They're like, man, what the hell?
We still got Crick Diggers, guys. These guys are awesome.
Big time.
You heard everyone through this thing drop their name. Not that they're any better, because these guys are all awesome in their own regard.
Oh, yeah.
These guys, they've cornered, they started, they really trendsetted the bottle auctions on YouTube, and that's how I kind of picked up on them. And their videos are they're very entertaining and knowledgeable, and I think you guys are going to like them.
Heck yeah. Well, we don't want to keep them waiting any longer.
Bring them
on in. Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's happening, brother mans and sister ladies?
Sorry,
yo, put them guns away. This is a non-violent show, bro.
Hey, I gotta hire him to come get that guy that ripped me off.
Yeah, we could have used you.
I'll hunt him down.
Hey, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
This is
my
awesome.
gosh, we were listening and we were sitting here talking about how, everybody pretty much covered everything on bottle digging. Everybody else did great. And we were pretty much talking to each other about, what we're going to talk about, because everybody pretty much hit the nail on the head. And it's been a really good show.
Thank you. What I would say is, we're boiling it down to there's not as much to learn at this point, because we've had so many, like all the guys that work with you have been very knowledgeable, all these guys that know you. So you're right. But what can we talk about? Awesome finds that you made. What kind of dumps, or privies, like if you're a dump or a privy, what you like more, where you gravitate towards the most. And then we'll talk about your auctions, because really, I think that's where I've seen, it's just awesome. You guys are the first ones that I saw the lighted uranium glass and stuff like that. I've never seen stuff like that, like at these auctions. It's crazy. So anything you want to go along those lines, feel free.
These people in the chat are loving these guys. I mean, they're blowing the comments up faster now than they were. I mean, there's a lot of love for you guys. I mean, you got a lot of fans watching here on the chat, so it's
they want to see the link too. They want the link. So
Crick Diggers Mafia, we love all you guys. I'll let Corey start off. He's got some great finds that we've dug throughout a couple years, and I've got some great finds. And we're just going to switch back and forth and try to answer as many questions as we can.
Where are you guys at?
brother?
All right, I'm gonna start off by saying the past few diggers that you guys just watched talk and present their stuff, they're all super people. We've actually dug with all of them, and I'm gonna be honest with you, some of the best times I've ever had, in my entire life at this point. We have an absolute blast. There is no hobby that compares to bottle digging. No, don't get me wrong. I love metal detecting. Just went out the other day and dug a 3-ringer. It's my first find of the year. And there's nothing like pulling Civil War stuff, coins. There's nothing like pulling anything old out of the ground. But yeah, it's a blast. There's nothing like it. But anyways, I'm going to start off by showing you guys I've got a couple things here. I didn't bring a ton because I get nervous bringing stuff out in this cold. It's probably like 20 degrees outside now, and bringing it out of the house, probably 70 degrees in the house. It don't mix with glass, temperatures can be bad. But I'm going to start off by showing you guys probably my all-time favorite bottle right here. I'm going to try to get it in the camera real good.
Ooh.
This is a local
great shape
whiskey flask, and it is privy dug. And what's interesting about it is it comes out of a town with 1,200 people, 1,200 people. And it's a colored flask. So anything other than aqua and clear is going to be considered colored. And in bottles, color is king. Color's everything. To see a colored flask come out of a town that small is just pretty much unheard of. You don't see it. And another thing that's significant about this is I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh yeah.
Oh,
it says wines, liquors, and cigars.
Wow.
So you have, the cigars thing going for it too. So it makes it even harder to find. Has the address. I mean, by far my favorite bottle ever. It's local to me. I grew up in the town. I've, lived there my entire life. And yeah,
I think I dropped that bottle. I think I dropped that bottle. Thank you for finding it for me.
Travis actually dug it. I'm not gonna lie. It came out of Trav pulled it.
That's an awesome bottle. That really is. I get all excited with the air bubbles in them. I'm like, oh,
yeah, the character's big too. You always look for character on a bottle. Like you were saying earlier, sometimes you do buy bottles. We go out, we buy bottles that we like, that we want to keep for ourselves. And one of my big things is I'm not super huge on embossing. It doesn't have to say anything at all for me. But if it's old and it has the character, it has the bubbles, like you were saying, it has folds in the glass. There's just something about that it gets me. It's like art. It's like somebody that is enthused with art and paintings or anything like that, looking at a piece of art that's maybe from even the 1700s and thinking, wow, look at the way they used the paintbrush on this, or look at the methods that they used to paint this painting. It's the same with glass, and it's just interesting.
That is that. I mean, I feel the same way. Like with bottles, with detecting, you're finding certain things. You're finding coins, relics, stuff like that. But with bottles, like even if you look at just one of the magnesium bottles, a nice cleaned up magnesium bottle with maybe, if you're lucky, a early one with a few bubbles in it. It speaks to you, and it's clean. It's from a different time. It's hard for me to put into words, but that's kind of how I get with them. I love bottle collecting. Love it. I got my wife hooked on milk bottles.
Oh yeah. Once you get hooked, it's hard to, you're hooked. That's it. You're done. Once you start digging them too, there's something about it. It definitely draws you in, and the crowd, the people, the community. I mean, our community alone, just with the whole CRICK Diggers, is absolutely unbelievable. 5 years ago, me and Travis never ever would have thought that we would be sitting here today doing this right here, you know, going on 14,000 subscribers on YouTube. You know, we never thought that was going to happen.
Crazy.
And, you know, sure enough, it did. And like you were talking about the auctions and everything, I can remember about 6 years ago, I started adding a lot of the Facebook pages and stuff that have to do with bottles. And when we first got into it and found it super interesting, I can remember how some of the older people that have been doing it for years were talking about how the bottle market's been crashing and stuff ain't selling for what it used to. And you know, that's big. You see Norman Heckler, you know, he's probably got the biggest bottle auction in the world. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And the Hecklers pretty much started it all, you know, when it comes with big money bottles. And I just seen so many people commenting and posting on different forums about how even Heckler's bottles are down and eBay prices are down and all these prices are down on bottles, you know, that, you know, maybe 10 years ago they might have paid, and this is crazy to say this, you know, $50,000 for a flask.
Wow.
You know, now it's worth $30,000. Well, we started this, you know, as you guys know, we started the online auctions and we were selling different things here and there. We'd go out to flea markets and buy different things. And, you know, in the beginning, we knew our bottles, but we didn't know bottles like we do now. And stuff just started taking off in the bottle market. You know, one thing me and Travis really realized was, you know, things like say eBay bottles. You get on, you look at eBay, and, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, like the soda that Badger was holding up, the colored sites out of PA, it's green. And, you know, green's a great color for a soda. You might have been able to get a green sites on the internet for $100, you know, a couple of years ago. I see them selling for sometimes close to $300 now. And the bottle market's just booming, and the hobby's taken off. You know, James had said there's so many different channels coming on and so many different people coming out of the woodwork, you know, that they've probably been digging for some of them longer than we have. And they're just now, you know, getting used to, you know, YouTube. And it can be a pain in the butt keeping up with everything and making the videos, posting on Facebook. And if you got a job working all the time, and it is a lot, it's a lot because what it is, it's a hobby. But, you know, me and Travis were fortunate. We were fortunate enough to be able to, you know, start making enough money off of it and bringing in the clientele in the auctions to where really, you know, it's like a job for us. It is. It's a job, and it's a blast. We have a lot of fun doing it.
Are you guys living off this just now, or like is this your job now, or are you still working?
Corey is still working. He has a job at UPS. I actually lost my job right when the COVID pandemic hit really hard. I was a supervisor at a warehouse distributing like restaurant equipment and stuff like that. And they cut us completely in half right away. And unfortunately, I was one that got let go after 5 years of working there. And so I had to figure out something to do real fast to take care of my family. And just on a whim, I went on Facebook and posted a little thing. Hey, what do you guys think about us doing a live auction? You know, by a show of hands. If I can get 100 likes, then we'll try it out. And it just completely blew up from there.
Wow.
To
Good
where
for you, man. Good for you.
Facebook was not allowing us enough time to do our auctions after people commented. I think it was like 32 times. They'd shut them down from commenting, saying that it was like spam going through.
Right.
So we had to figure something else out. Well, we already had the YouTube platform, you know, from bottle digging for the last 5 years, 6 years. So we moved over to the YouTube platform, and it is just, wow, no looking back now. It's crazy. The following is insane. CRICK Diggers Mafia all the way. We get all kinds of really cool donations. I mean, it's awesome. And this is my job. This is what I do every day now.
Good for you. Man, that is awesome. Quick question. Are you going through StreamYard or like we do for our live stream, or are you just going through YouTube's live stream?
just straight on YouTube. I've not tried to use any other platforms yet. Like David, I'm not really technology, savvy. I just kind of learn as I go. Believe it or not, guys, since day one, every one of our videos has been made on an iPhone. All the editing, everything. We've never even had a computer to use for it. So the hardest part using an iPhone, I don't know if anybody out there uses them for videos. Once you try to upload it from, like, say, iMovie, no storage. You don't have enough storage. Yep. You got to go through and wipe your whole entire memory out just to try to save that one hour video. It's a nightmare week in and week out, but we've made it work and it's enjoyable. I really, really enjoy making the videos, seeing all the comments. It's gotten so big now to where we can't reply to everybody. So doing things like this is really ideal to reach out to the other people we're not able to reply to.
Well, you have a hell of a following, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right.
I could use. Can you give me like maybe just 1,000 subs?
Dude, hopefully this makes you take off, brother. I mean, it's a really great idea. Talking to Andy and learning how you guys do the different categories each week. That's genius. It's going to bring, everybody into the mix. So I like that. A lot of times you just have your detector groups and your digging groups, and they kind of stay separate. And this is kind of mingling them all together, and I like that.
That's why I hang out with Andy. He's smart.
Yeah, he is.
I try. Except when I buy detectors that were stolen or whatever.
We actually have a TikTok, and it does have some videos on it. We're uploading stuff to it. However, so me and Travis have been kind of taking turns making the videos lately. And we both have iPhones, and we both have the same issue where there's just not enough memory. And I end up having to delete the TikTok pretty much every time. Every time we have to upload something or download something, the TikTok's got to go. A couple different things have to go. So not a terrible amount of videos on there, but the videos that are on there, great content. Usually I try to put the best things that we find, for the week and or for the day that sometimes we dig every day. So I mean, that'd be it's hard to pick the best bottle whenever you're digging every day out of the week.
Yeah.
Are you primarily digging dumps?
Right now we're primarily digging dumps only because privy digging it's a different ball game.
That's what it sounds like.
You got to be very careful with what you're doing. We live in a small town. The biggest city closest to us is close to 30,000 people. So it's not super big. Yeah. It's super old. They had a Revolutionary War fort there. So it goes all the way back to Rev War. So everybody knows everyone. If you go into a yard, for us, if we go into a yard in the middle of winter and we got a pickaxe through the ground to open up a hole and somebody's looking out their window we just got permission off of, they're probably not going to be too happy about you out there in the yard swinging a big pickaxe around trying to get chunks of ice out of the ground. So you kind of want to be professional. So during the winter time, especially up here in the mountains, we don't get out there and open up too many outhouses. We have underground water up here. We have artesian wells. So a lot of your outhouses are full of water in the wintertime. So our outhouse digging usually happens around, spring. We start getting those 50, 60 degree days every day. We'll get out and we'll start digging outhouses. Now, we'll still dig the ones with water in them. And what's crazy is the ones that hold water are usually the best ones. But we don't like to do it in the winter.
What do you do? Do you bring a sub pump down, or you just try to dig another hole to let it out?
We bucket every ounce of water out of the hole until it's gone.
Wow.
Buckets and hands.
Yep. We've never found a pump that'll pump the muddy water out. It's always they either get clogged up or it just ends up being a pain in the butt. And we've just gotten so good. It's routine. Me and Travis, we get to a yard, we know exactly what we're about to do. We find them. It's just routine every time. It's gotten to the point where we get in, we get out, we're done. You know what I mean? Because some homeowners can be a little strange, and you don't know you don't know whenever, because nobody knows what you're doing. A lot of the time, 90% of the time, when you go up and you knock on somebody's door and you tell them what you want to do, they look at you like they just saw it. And they're just kind of like, huh? And a lot of them will actually say, oh, well, there's no outhouse back there. They don't understand that
right.
there. It just isn't standing anymore. They filled it in. So a lot of the time when people see what you're doing, they think that maybe you're going to dig this little tiny hole, and we start cutting these big plugs out and lay the tarp out or whatever we got with us. They're kind of thinking, oh, well, what are they about to do? And sometimes you'll have people come out and say, hey, it's time to go. Pack your stuff up and get out. We don't want you digging here anymore. And so sometimes you got to be quick about what you're doing, and that's just part of it. It's part of outhouse digging. And I know some of the other guys, they got to be confidential about where they're digging, because you got other people that want to compete with you in the outhouse game. You know, some of these bigger areas, there's a lot of people digging outhouses. There's a lot of people that collect bottles and dig bottles that even me and Travis don't know about, you know, and they're good. They've been doing it for years and years and years.
Wow. That's fascinating. I didn't realize there was so much that went into that part of the game. Have you guys like used any LiDAR or anything like that? Have you gotten to that point, or is that pretty like,
we have not ourselves, but we do have a buddy that a lot of the other bottle diggers know as well, Nate Long.
Yeah.
He's also a truck driver, but he has a GPR, and he has came down a few times and dug with us, used his GPR to locate privies. Now, at the time, he was still just learning how to do everything and read the graphs and stuff. So I would imagine he's quite a bit better now. But it's been a little over a year since we dug with Nate. Hopefully we can get him back up this year, because we do have some spots we know where privies are, but it's covered over by blacktop.
I get to spend some time with him for the bone up in New Hampshire.
I'll tell you this right now. Nathan Long is one heck of a digger.
Absolutely, he is.
Can dig.
I tried to get him. I tried. He
can dig. There's been times we've been at dumps. You know, we've dug with Nathan quite a few times, and there was a dump in PA that we dug out in Lewistown, PA, and it went down to Pawnell on the bottom. It was old, and when Nate got there and he heard that it went to Pawnell on the bottom, Nate was going to the bottom. And we were in a hole. No, don't get me wrong. We were in a hole that was absolutely massive. You could probably fit a truck in it. And there was three of us. And I remember turning around because Nate started his own hole. And I remember turning around, and I'm not kidding you, maybe 45 minutes went by. Nate disappeared. Gone. He was gone. And all of a sudden he comes up out of the hole from like 10 feet back in the bank. And he's like, I got a squat soda. I was like, what in the world? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He's a digger.
Yeah, I'm hoping to spend a little bit of time with him when we go up to this event and pick his brain a little bit. And
he's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, and I knew he was like, he's pretty much the only person I knew that used LiDAR. But like, have you guys done that where I've seen them go? Maybe not him per se, but I've seen there was a show at one point. It was few years back, and these guys would go into like a city. They would jackhammer cement to where old privy used to be. They'd go down, dig it out, and then they'd fill it all back in. Do you guys do anything like that, or have you done anything like that where you've had to go through cement or anything like that to get to anything you were looking for?
We dug a saloon privy in Ohio with some buddies from Wheeling, West Virginia. And it went down 30 feet, and it was about 4 feet down. There was a concrete slab that they had put down in it way back when. It was like 3 feet thick.
I think it was a grand.
And we had to bust through that to continue going down in the privy.
No kidding. Wow.
And then when we filled it in, we were throwing old tires in there. Just anything that they had laying around they didn't want was going in the hole.
Yeah, to fill it back up.
That's another thing. It's another thing. Like whenever you get real big into the hobby and you start digging these massive brick liners and really, anything over 15 foot, what happens is if you pull out, say you pull out 100 bottles out of a hole, you got to make up for that dirt that, you got to make up with dirt for what came out. And that's another thing that, if you're going to get into the hobby, you got to take all that into consideration, because you don't, like I said before, you don't want to go into somebody's yard and mess it up, because especially if you live in a small area, everybody knows everyone. They're going to tell each other, hey, don't let these guys in your yard. You know what I mean? And you want your reputation. You want your reputation to stay good. And so a lot of the time, like Trav said, we'll have people say, hey, I got some trash over here. Toss it down to the bottom of that hole. And we're tossing it in the bottom of the hole. You know what I mean? So it makes you got to do it smart too. You got to be smart about everything. Everything has to be thought about before it's done, especially on deep ones. Now, if you're digging towns where, around me and Trav, we've dug the deepest pit we've dug in our area is 15 foot. We're averaging 5-6 foot holes. So, we don't have to think about, how we gonna fill this hole if we pull, 50 bottles out of it, or how we gonna say we bucket a bunch of water out of it. And water, it seems like the wet ones, they stink, after a while they start sinking down. And with the small ones, you don't really have to worry about that as much, because there's nowhere for it to go. It's just a 6 foot hole. It might sink a few inches, if anything. And we'll come back maybe in the spring and add some dirt to it, put some grass seed on it. You can't even tell we were there. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, you just got to be real cautious.
Yeah, rule of thumb, always make the property look better than when you walked onto it. You will pretty much be guaranteed to get almost the whole street. I mean, there's a few that'll tell you no still, but if you do it correctly and make the yard look real good and show them you're professional about it, everyone watching you is probably going to tell you, yeah, that you go knock on their door.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Awesome.
You got another one, Andy? You got a question?
No, I'm trying to think. Just trying to think what we didn't ask anybody. There's one bottle. There's one bottle that I don't know if it's a bottle. I'm gonna pull that screen back up with you guys. It had like a little green. It was like a green guy's face.
Oh, that's a pipe bowl. That's a pipe
Do you
bowl.
have that?
It's called the Pope. No, actually, that was back when I was working, and we had actually first started. That was, believe it or not, one of my first privies that I ever dug in a real small town in West Virginia. And we pulled a lot of stuff out of that privy, including that pipe bowl. But I had it sold before the end of the day for $250.
Wow.
Gone.
I'm gonna pull that up.
I wish I did not sell it. That's definitely one of my regrets, but we all have them in life.
We had a guy tell us that digs outhouses, and he's been digging outhouses for probably 20, 25 years, say that he's never seen that face Bowling Green.
So yeah, I'm talking about the guys watching in the chat. I'm talking about that very bottom right. Whose face would it be? Is it like mimic off somebody's particular? Like,
from what I was told, it's called the Pope. And I'm not exactly sure, who it's supposed to represent, but if you look it up on Google, that's what it's supposed to be called. And that is, as far as I know, is the only one in the green glaze that's ever, come about.
Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah,
but crazy. Even out of that same privy, we dug a cannonball. I pulled a cannonball out, a 10-pound cannonball. In this town we were digging in, they had a surplus of cannonballs after the Civil War. They were laying around everywhere. So they would just put them wherever, to get rid of them. And a lot of times I heard that kids would play tricks on people in the outhouses and drop a cannonball while they were in there and make it splash all over them and stuff and run off giggling and stuff. So it's hard to tell how it actually got in there, but I do have it. It's still in my collection. It's really neat. A Ravenna fruit jar. All kinds of really cool stuff came out of that privy, and I've been hooked ever since. Going back to the 15-footer that we dug, actually local to me and Corey in Cumberland, Maryland. Nice stone liner and painted Crocs. Open panel Wheeling, Virginia ink came out, which it doesn't even exist anymore. I think 1863 is when it transitioned from Virginia to West Virginia. Was it 65
after the Civil War?
65 then.
You guys stay close to home? Do you stay
in that 15-footer? check this out. I want to show this real quick.
Okay, let me pull you up bigger.
This is a 1850s, 1860s mustard. Try to get it on camera the best I can. It actually has an eagle on it. You can see how crudely it is.
Yeah.
It says Geison's Union Mustard, New York. This is the earliest example of this mustard known. You can see how really crude that is. It's got like a almost like a sand funnel kind of thing going on.
Huh.
Really super early. You can't even hardly feel it when you're holding it. It's like a bubble. But that's really cool find. It's not always bottles that we find that are really cool either. If you guys follow us and watch our videos and stuff, we have a place that we call the River Dump. And we've dug some really incredible stuff out of that. So check this out.
Huh.
This is a stoneware bird whistle.
Wow.
And even after 150 years of being in the ground,
That's awesome.
it still works. Isn't that awesome?
That is cool, dude. That's awesome.
Really, really neat.
Wow,
nice
dude.
detail on it. That'll stay in my collection forever. We really enjoy digging, local towns close to us, the real small towns. And there's not too many bottles that's ever come out of them, because we're real fortunate to live in these smaller towns. We don't really have any competition as far as other bottle diggers going on and getting permissions and digging and stuff like that. We're it. And a few that dig with us. So we're finding stuff that has never, been found before. We dug a privy in a little town called Midland, Maryland, behind like an old post office or bank it was supposed to be. And it went down, I think, about 8 feet. Had more rocks than dirt in it, really. But at the very bottom, we both were able to pull this gorgeous squat soda from Frostburg, Maryland. It's a J. Nichols. J. Nichols, 1860s squat soda. And if you look on the bottom, it's got the L&W.
Yeah.
That was Lorenz and Whiteman, Pittsburgh Glass House.
Wow.
And there's only 3 of these bottles known to exist. And, I've got one. Corey's got one. There's one that came out of an estate sale, and that's it. Another real small town find. This actually came out of the River Dump. And there's only 3 of these known to exist. This is a Rayman Brewing agent out of Piedmont, West Virginia. Super, super small town in West Virginia. Used to be called the Gentleman's Town. It was a big, big hangout in the 1800s for all the rich folks. Brothels, saloons everywhere. Just real, real cool.
That's my kind of town.
Now we're digging in this place called the Haunted Dump. And let me tell you, it has got the biggest assortment of bottles that I've ever seen in my life. We pull crocks out. We pull like these really nice ornate Japanese dishes out, the gold gilt all over them, urns, spittoons. Just yesterday, I pulled this bad boy out right here. Check that out. This is the thumbnail of today's video I just posted. This is an emerald green, almost citron, Reese Chemical Company out of Cleveland, Ohio. And this
Look at all the detail on that thing.
Poison bottle for pinworms.
Wow.
Man.
Just dug yesterday. But that's it. We just posted a new video today if you guys haven't seen it. But yeah, all kinds of bottles. You were talking about, not selling anything, and I get that for sure. But we've gotten to the point where we've had to rent a storage building just to put our bottles in. We have so many that we've found.
Dang.
Between the two of us, we have over 5,000 bottles in our inventory right now.
You guys need another brother?
I'd say that part of the reason why I'm divorced is because of bottles.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's gotten big. My house was completely full of bottles. The attic had boxes of bottles, floor to ceiling all the way back as far as you could see. My wife was getting real frustrated. So yeah, we got our whole new building now, just for bottles. Just
Oh
for
wow.
the options. Like it's great.
Oh man,
bottles are life.
You guys, I'm really happy for you guys. You guys are people that earned what you have now, and just even to be down like you were, Trav, and then to come back up, reinvent what you do. Kudos to you, brother. That's real.
Hey, I appreciate that, Dustin. It's rough when you're at that point in time where you have to make a decision. Give up or figure something out really fast.
Yep.
And
no,
go ahead.
I had to do that in 2008 when I got laid off from a job, and I had to make a decision like that. And luckily, it worked out for me too for a temporary thing. But what you guys have done and what you've done for yourself is that's real man stuff. Like you said, I had to figure out a way to feed my family, and you managed to put what you love and figure out a way to make that pay for you. And
I never would have taken that step if my company wouldn't have fired me, because it's tough going into the unknown and trying to succeed where everybody tells you never will be able to. I was told many times, you're never going to be able to make a career out of bottle digging, out of your YouTube videos. You might as well give that up and go get another job. And I'm really glad for those people, because they pushed me and pushed me and pushed me and made me push myself farther than I ever thought possible. And now, here we are, and I absolutely love life now. Every single day is a blessing. I get to not go to work. If the weather's real bad, I get to spend all the birthdays with my kids, the holidays. I don't have to worry about somebody disliking me and firing me for no reason at all, ever. Like, it is great being my own boss. Is the best thing I've ever done.
Have you two always been this close?
We've been best friends now. What, about 12 years?
Yeah, about 12 years. And it's crazy because I think I might have been a senior in high school, a junior or senior in high school. One of my buddies from a long time ago worked with Travis at McDonald's, and it's crazy because him, my dad, and my buddy would go fishing together. I'm probably had a girlfriend at the time and was more interested in my girlfriend. Didn't get out as much, you know how it is. And eventually me and Travis started hanging out, going fishing all the time. Travis got into the gym with me. I've been in the gym when I was 12 years old, and I've just been in love with working out ever since. There's a time I actually was diagnosed with lupus when I was at the age of 21. I'm 30 now, and it was a hard time, really hard time. Always being real athletic and everything, and it was really a big change in my life, and it was hard to get used to. But I tell you what, guys, whenever stuff like that's going on, I know a lot of people try to do things on their own, and people can be hard-headed, but you can't do it on your own. And the friendship that me and Trav have, it's not even like a friendship. We're like brothers. Me and Trav are like brothers. We argue like brothers sometimes. It's just like we mesh, and it's like I said, it started probably 12 years ago, and it started with fishing. And me and Travis, we both have had our struggles, on the way. And one day, I don't know if we were both bored or what it was. I think we were really bored. I was out of work at this point, and I just had so much time on my hands. I was just getting over getting sick. I was starting to get my life back in routine, but like I said, I didn't have a job at the time, couldn't work. The job that I did have, I couldn't do it anymore. So being sick all the time, there was probably a good 4-month period where I was just sick the whole time. And it just felt like I just wasn't ever going to get better. And like I said, when I did, me and Travis got together. I don't remember if I saw something on YouTube one day. I don't remember what did it, but I can remember telling Trav, hey, I know this old bottle dump when I was a kid, I can remember pulling bottles off this hillside. I think I'd watched a YouTube video. I'm not 100% sure, though. It might have been something on TV, like you were saying, the guys digging the privies. But I said we ought to try that because I've always been into old things. I've always found antiques or anything like that interesting because it is. I mean, if you're a human, you're interested in history. And that's just the way I look at it. In school, I wasn't interested in anything except for sports and women, so it was weird for me. And I feel like other people probably look at me and think, the heck does he, it's just weird. It's weird for somebody, like for me, it's weird to like history. I don't know, but gosh, I love history. Even
we did have I don't mean to cut you off, but we had a pressing question from one of the audience.
I know what it's going to be.
Who's going to win in arm wrestling?
Oh my God.
We've been being asked that for a long time. We've never arm wrestled.
We'll never arm wrestle.
Probably not.
That's
He'd have to break my arm anyway.
Oh man.
I've never arm wrestled professionally, but I've also never been beat. But
that's right.
But I've not arm wrestled too many people. I've arm wrestled some big dudes. And with arm wrestling, I know anybody's watched arm wrestling. It does not matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It's all in technique. And there's some guys out there that might weigh 140 pounds that would smoke a 250-pound muscular dude. It's just like we're good at bottle digging. We know our bottles. People are good at, there's people out there, 140 pounds, beating giants at arm wrestling.
When I arm wrestle
Andy, that technique.
When I arm wrestle Andy, he uses 2 arms and he's still
Heck yeah. But not only that, guys, but I am 40 years old. I'm not arm wrestling anybody. Like
Amen.
What I have, what I've created, the reason I go to the gym is so I can maintain bottle digging. There's no way I would jeopardize that for an arm wrestling match. Not going to happen.
Well, I think I'm all questioned out because, like these guys said, everything's been asked, and you guys have totally opened up and given us a part, or not a part, but letting us see into your life. And man, I appreciate that. That is just, thank you. Before we go any further, thank you.
We appreciate you guys, reaching out to us and, allowing us the opportunity to do this.
Yeah,
it's absolutely awesome how far that this has come, and I can't wait to see how far it goes, to be honest with you.
Well, next time we have you on, because I'm sure we'll revisit this maybe a year or 6 months from now, and next time we'll have you on in the beginning instead of at the end, and we'll talk more about fines and maybe some sticky situations, unless you got a sticky situation you want to share.
Oh, we got one. I got one right off the top of my head, and watching Badger and Steve talk about collapses. Well, it was whenever we went up to the Bethlehem dump with Badger, we got into I'd say it was probably 18 to 20 foot hole, and we were at the bottom. The sides were starting to get a little hairy, and Steve and Badger said, hey, they went and got me and Trav, and we were in a different hole at the time, and they said, hey, come on over here and get in the hole. There's stuff starting to come out because the dump's deep. You're there for a weekend. You can get to the bottom in some places, but if you want to get to where the colored sodas are and stuff like that, you got to dig it down, and digging 20 feet in one day in a dump it's pretty hard. 1 or 2 days, you guys, it's tough, but they let us in their hole, and we're all 4 down there at this point, and we're picking at the wall, and we're being careful. We're watching. You can usually tell when something's going to collapse because you'll either hear things happening, or you'll see it happening. You know what I mean? Sometimes it cannot give you a warning and just all come down at once,
right.
And so it is dangerous, but it did give us a warning. I think we had it knocked down to the point where it wasn't super. The walls weren't like straight up and down. They kind of came down at an angle, but the one wall did give. And I was standing. The 4 of us were in the hole. I was standing between a ladder and that's how deep it was. We needed a ladder to get out. But I was standing between a ladder and a metal shovel. And when the collapse came down, it came down against and pinned my leg between the ladder and the shovel, and I couldn't move. And the other wall started moving a little bit. So I couldn't move. And if the other wall would have came down, it would have just probably would have covered the four of us. But we sat there and we laughed about it. We laughed about it while we're pinned down in this hole. And I think we told a couple jokes while we were there. And then finally, we all realized what was going on. I was like, all right, my leg's stuck. I can't move as this other wall is getting ready to come down. But yeah, that was probably, I don't know if that was the hairiest moment ever.
No way. It was freaking, what's his face? John Glover up in PA when that huge rock fell out of the ceiling on us. We were about 20 feet under the ground. I mean, we had this massive, huge hole, and all three of us were down in here digging.
Now, we're amateurs at this time, too. We're pretty amateur.
Yeah, this was like probably 4 years ago. And this rock, probably the size of a Volkswagen car, fell out of the ceiling right in between all of us. It like smashed us all together. Dust went flying everywhere. Everything was pitch black. We all thought each other were dead, and somehow we were all fine. It pushed us all together.
It came within inches of crushing the three of us.
Oh, man.
We don't dig like that anymore. No. Now, you will see us tunneling sometimes, but that's only when the ceiling is super frozen, and we've been up on it, beating it with sledgehammers, pickaxes, whatever we have, and it will not budge.
Well, there are times, just so people know, that you can tunnel, if there's roots holding stuff up, you can tunnel.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good thing to bring up.
Yeah, and if you're going down real deep, a lot of times that if you start at the ash layer and dig under, and that dirt layer on top, that dirt layer will hold longer if you went under that instead of letting going under the ash first.
Yeah, definitely determine, the kind of soil you're digging in before you decide to tunnel. Around our area, there's a lot of clay mixed in with the rust, so it holds together really tight, whereas at Badger's Dump, for instance, it's all ash. So if you hit like one wrong little pocket, the whole entire thing falls down. We don't have that happen in our dumps very often at all.
Yeah, and that's what I'm familiar with is ash. In the Northeast region, all those dumps are just like completely ash, and then until you hit the clay at the bottom. So, yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, I couldn't even imagine some of those situations. I'm not a guy that goes like I'll go down into a hole if I deem it safe enough, but I'm pretty much the guy that once it's a few feet over my head, I'll take pictures and I'll pull your feet out. But
this last video that I just put out today is a good instance of that, of tunneling. I made a hole in the side of the ground where a groundhog had actually burrowed through and made a little hollow spot almost. And we were able to bust through that enough to open it up. And it was so frozen that I tunneled about 15 feet back under the bank.
Oh, wow.
And I dug out a huge, almost like an igloo house kind of thing, and dug in there all day long. It was warm. I didn't have to worry about the wind being on me. But, I mean, it is kind of freaky, but it was frozen solid. It wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. Wow.
We've had the cops called on us a few times, Adam, believe it or not. They always are really intrigued in what we're doing and, start talking to us about bottles. Nowadays, they don't even come out because they know somebody calls about bottle digging, guys, we're it. They don't come out to the calls anymore.
That's man. You guys got it made. I'm gonna have to come check you guys out one day.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Or have you guys down. Well, we were talking, and I keep telling everyone about that privy I was telling you about. And I want to do that sooner than later. So
we're ready as soon as you are, brother, man.
Yeah, and if you ever
if you deem like I know the ground where it's at is frozen around it still because the sun doesn't hit it because of the trees and house. But man, whenever you're ready, I mean, next week, I'll do it next week, man. I mean, I'm my own boss too. I have an antique business, so.
Where do you live at, Dustin?
I live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, geez,
not
we're
too
not
bad
even
at
far
all.
away from each other.
Yeah.
Next week sounds good.
Yeah,
Hey, if we can get in the ground anyway.
Yeah, because
I'll come in video.
I even had Aqua Jigger looked at it, and I mean, it's definitely a privy. It's definitely a hole, and they have it like capped with cement, but you can still see a little bit down in it, and it's been verified from the previous owner's children that was the last outhouse they remember.
Okay.
So off that, there got to be a couple more spots.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we'll definitely find them for you.
All around the house, there's they just threw the ash and shit everywhere around the house, because you'll dig down a few feet and find ash layers. But that's
pretty common. We find that a lot in the backyards.
Fence lines.
They're just trash. The first foot or two is just nothing but ash and garbage. Ration cans everywhere. They definitely weren't, very cleanly back then.
Yeah, you can tell how disease spread back then.
Exactly.
Sometimes they would put the outhouse 10 feet from the well. It's just kind of.
Or right over the creek. Right over the creek, they put literally the building on top of the creek and just use the bathroom right into the water.
Threw their trash under their house in the crawl space.
So we'll definitely, and hey, there is a wooden, like, what's a porch or whatever, but it's gotten knocked down, so it's like on top of the ground, like you can't wedge under it. It would take a couple guys with big ass biceps and shoulders to come pick it up, but I guarantee you there's gonna be good stuff.
We can probably find a couple of them for you.
Yeah, one of our favorite places to look for bottles, actually, other than outhouses and dumps, is crawl spaces.
Yep.
If a house has a crawl space, a lot of the time they would have a board in the kitchen they could pick up, and they would brush the trash down under the floor. And we've had places where actually 1780s stone house we went into, and we went into the crawl space, and right underneath the kitchen in the corner of the room was a mound of, I'm talking, it was anything from late 1700s to about Civil War period. And I actually found the earliest pair of brass knuckles known. And they're actually so early, they're made out of tomback.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's craziness. Wow.
We also do metal detecting too. I know that we don't do it very often because we're so caught up in bottle digging, but we both have some really nice Nocta detectors.
Nice.
And we found some incredible finds metal detecting as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. We're going to have these guys back for another show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll stay here and talk all night.
Yeah.
We're both talkers.
We'll probably have to wrap it up here in the next few minutes.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, we got a nice funnel giveaway.
Oh,
yeah, nice Turlington open funnel. Let's get it.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let me get this in here now. There's another one.
That's the. Yeah, guys, thanks for coming on tonight. Very awesome.
Yeah, and I'm not kidding about
too. I was telling Travis while James was talking. I said he's such a good talker. I say he's a teacher though. You know what I mean? He's such a good talker, man.
Yeah, open funnel, 1840s, 1850s open funnel. Check that out, guys. If you've never seen an open funnel before, that's where they broke the funnel rod off after it was blown. Free blown bottle.
And that's an ink bottle?
Real nice. Rolled lip.
Very cool.
It's a Turlington Balsam of Life.
Wait, is that an ink?
No, it's actually a little balsam for like your skin or your face.
Oh, balsam. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Wow.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
We need to
you guys are animals, man. Talking.
Well, we're used to running, like 5-6 hour
Yeah.
auctions, and that's twice a week. You have to keep people entertained, so we're good talking.
I'll be popping in to help entertain.
We only ever talk to each other, so
That's crazy. All right, let's pull it up here, guys. We're gonna pick a new person here.
All right.
Let's go. Ready?
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
I'll
Hopefully
do the
they're still here.
0 at the end when we're getting ready to leave for everybody.
No way. Oh, Joe Strack metal detecting.
yeah.
Joe Strack metal detecting.
Let me know if he's here, guys,
Congratulations,
because
brother man.
Where you at, Joe?
if he's here. If not, we'll redraw again.
Yeah, don't reach out to him or you guys will lose your thing. Your font. You know what I mean? We won't be able to redraw again. So if you reach out to
Yeah.
Joe and he's not here, I don't see him. The dirty burger. Damn you, James.
What are you thinking, guys? Gonna wait or
I ain't seeing no Joe popping up yet.
I
We'll
don't
do
see
it
him. I
again?
don't see him. Hey, Joe.
want to redo it?
Yeah, I think we should. I mean,
All right, let's redo it. Here we go.
Yep, redo it. Dang, that's
Shenandoah
awesome.
Valley history.
You want to know what's really cool about that, guys? I was born in Waynesboro, Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley.
wow.
That's
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
That
Heck
is
yeah.
awesome.
Hopefully they're still on.
It's supposed to get rid of those people when they leave, but I don't know if it is. So if they don't say something quick,
I
We're
seen
gonna
him
do it.
commenting
Give me a
back when
chance, give me a
Badger
chance
was
now,
on.
Andy. Andy's like, if they don't answer, quit.
hey, I mean, if they're not watching, you know what I mean? If they're not watching, I mean, if people are
Someone
watching,
said
they
Andy's
would see
sleeping
that.
in the recliner.
Hey, I can't put it on the screen any bigger. Anything?
I don't see it, buddy.
Bummer.
Not saying anything.
Going again.
Third time's a charm.
Somebody's gonna win this, I hope.
Yeah, buddy.
Woo!
Tattoo
Steve.
Steve, brother man.
There he is.
Is he
Heck
here?
Yeah.
Come on, be here, Steve.
Come
I
on,
know, right?
Steve, brother.
Where is he at?
He should be. It should only be like 9 o'clock where he's at.
Yeah, he's here. He's here. He
Is
said,
There
yeah,
that boy
buddy.
is. All right, Steve.
Ah,
You guys look in the background back here. That's all Tattoo Steve's artwork.
yeah, that is great work. And who was showing us the last one? Steve showed us it.
Mm-hmm.
Badger didn't show us his, but I mean, he didn't tell us about it, but we saw he had a bunch of them.
Yeah, a lot of people's getting that dude's artwork. He's super talented.
Yeah.
I think he sells some of it too on Facebook. So
Is
if
that
you like that
watercolor?
kind of stuff, check him out.
Is it watercolor paints? Is that what he does?
I
Watercolor?
think so, but you'd have to ask him on the chat to be.
All right.
Yeah, I guess Tattoo Steve. I guess I don't know if he knows. He can hit me up with the email. With his email, the link's scrolling. It's scrolling across the bottom, and I'll just give it to you guys because you probably don't know his address already, unless you do. I don't. But
Yeah, he's one of our longtime customers, so I can
Okay.
ship that right out to him tomorrow.
All right. That's
Jeez.
awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys too. I guess everybody wants me to do my famous 0, so I'm gonna count down, and I guess then we're gonna get out of here.
All right, man. Go ahead.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
see you later, guys. Thanks. Phew.
Those guys are awesome.
They are
man.
awesome dudes.
This was a long show, Andy, but I tell you what, wow, do we have great people, great human beings, or what?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
they were some. I mean, the guests were just amazing on this one. I mean, we've had some great guests through the mix, but I mean, you could just tell by just talking to these guys, they were into it, man. Just, I don't know how else to say it.
These guys have more to offer. I mean, as far as like, I think we could just do one whole thing with the Crick Diggers.
Yeah.
A few months from now, they'll probably have a whole bunch more finds and
yeah.
crazy
I mean, we didn't even talk about their auction really or anything. I mean, there was this,
I know.
4 hours. We're at 4 hours almost, and it's like there's still 28, 29 people in here. So it's like, man.
That's like, I apologize for getting up and leaving. My wife went to bed and the dog needed out. Like, that's how long we've been on it.
It's crazy.
Holy cow. What a show. You guys in the audience, thank you. Man, you guys are really making this something that I didn't expect. I don't know if Andy expected, but
yeah, not at all.
You guys are really turning this into a good show. I have a question to ask the audience if they're listening. I had suggested to Andy about naming this a show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, should we name this a show? Like, it'll always be on Lost Boys Recovery page, but should we call it a show? Like, give it an official title, or just Lost Boys Recovery live stream? You guys let us know.
Yeah.
We, it's not the end of the world, big issue, but just see what you guys think.
Yeah.
So,
heck yeah.
Man, I'm looking at who. I think we got someone on here who shouldn't be on here.
Yeah, I deleted them. There's always spammers and bots, but
Loveface XYZ.
Yeah, they're deleted already.
Good gravy.
They're called bots, and they're just ought to be stupid. So, but no, we're good. That's why we have moderators that I make moderators, and when they see those people, they blast them out of here. So trolls, what they're called. Yep, trolls.
I had a great night, buddy.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean, anything you want to finish out with here? I mean, I know you're probably exhausted. You got a lot on your plate lately, and there's a lot that goes into that show. I mean, on this show, I mean, there's 5 different people to talk to ahead of time. It's a lot goes into these live streams. I mean, I know we're doing really well with them, and we really appreciate everybody watching. So,
yeah, just so you guys know, I mean, Andy's kind of underplaying that. This guy's putting in like a lot of hours to come up with those collage pictures and links, and I don't put in as much time as him. I do share to a lot of the groups, and I do help a lot in the interviewing process, but this guy is putting in a ton of work, and I want to thank you for what you do, Andy, because you let me into this world, and then you also are giving these guys something every week. So, much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated.
Yeah, awesome. You're definitely awesome as a co-host. I mean, we're always going to try to bring some more information to everybody out there watching. I mean, that's why we started these whole live streams together, is to offer some great information for people starting out in a certain hobby, and just maybe like tonight, the hobby that I never even really knew about, bottle digging. So we're going to keep reaching out to people, and hopefully they come back to see us each Sunday, and just, yeah, we just have fun with it, right?
Yeah, man. And we'll be here next Sunday, same time, same bat station. And our topic will be, drum roll, please, Andy, you go ahead and call it.
I don't know. You never pick one. Permissions.
There
you go.
So we're going to go over permissions. I don't see it being a 4-hour long live stream.
Good Lord.
I do see it being a very informative and helpful show, to say the least.
Yeah.
And we're going to pick up from where you leave off with your research and go from that point on. So we're not covering research. That's been covered to the moon and back this past week. So if you guys
Ed Wood said about magnet fishing, that's on our list. Actually, I'm actually sponsored by a magnet company.
Yep.
But
there it is.
We're going to have some guys come on, some good big wiggers on that stuff. So stay tuned for that one for sure.
Yeah. So next week we'll be doing the permissions. Hey, and anyone else have any ideas? Throw them in the comments while you're here.
Yeah.
For any other thing, that you may want to have covered. After 4 hours, I'm like,
4 hours.
So Yeah, man, you guys are awesome. I can't believe there's still 26 people watching.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you guys? Go to bed.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
yeah,
I
it's
guess
that
we're
time.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, sir, I will talk to you tomorrow on our recap of a recap, right? Is that how you want to do it tomorrow?
We'll do that.
And the rest of you guys, God bless each and every one of you. And thank you for tuning in. And thank you for making us be a part of your life.
Yep. Thanks again, guys. See you next time, and we really appreciate it. Good night.
Peace.